Trucks.
There's everything. Liquid cooled, immersion cooling, air cooling differences, MCS, CCS, NACS. They make GBT stuff from all different things.
11% of the trucks that they need to sell in California have to be electric.
All right. So we love Bright Drops. We love charging. You've got both. Appreciate it. Great to see you as always. That was really fun. Really fun. Thank you. Give us the lowdown on what is up with Tridium, because the last I heard was bad stuff. We've got the man himself, Brandon Flash. Shout out.
Hello.
Everyone watching this video knows you already, so no introduction.
Hello, out of spec.
Why don't you show us around? Oh. Charge rate up to 125 kilowatt hours. Scott, you can even tell that that's wrong because the H shouldn't be there. All right. God, how hard is it to get kilowatt and kilowatt hour right at a professional tech conference?
So gentle and agreeable as the wind. Yeah. Far from home, Bulgarian rose. And you can even have different concentrations.
Thank you to our sponsors for today's video, Ionna, InfyPower, and Eaton. Ionna, North America's premier charging network. With unmatched commitment to elevating the customer experience, Ionna is opening America's roads to all EVs, giving drivers the coverage they need, the reliability they deserve, and the amenities they crave. Also, InfyPower, the largest EV charger module provider with over 3 million power modules running reliably worldwide. Their latest G2 collection features ultra-high power density and efficiency for EV charging and energy storage integration. InfyPower, innovation for your power. And Eaton. Eaton is a one-stop shop for implementing reliable and innovative EV charging infrastructure at your site. Across all applications, Eaton's EV charging infrastructure, hardware, and software gives you the scalability, flexibility, and intelligence you need to charge today and scale up tomorrow. Learn more at eaton.com/EVCI. Hello, good morning, and welcome to a full tour video of the ACT Expo. We are about to head inside and take a look at a bunch of chargers, electric trucks, electric excavators. Behind the camera is Scot. It's her first time on an out-of-spec video. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
And Scott's always behind the scenes, but we're forcing her to go on camera this time. So, yeah, and she's getting an EV pretty soon. So in this show, Scott and I are going to go around, meet with a bunch of people, a bunch of companies, give you a full tour of what's happening in the clean transportation space, not only for fleets, medium and heavy duty applications, but also you'll see the charging companies that you guys know and love, and also some EVs in there as well. So join me for a full tour of ACT Expo 2025. Scott, we are heading in to the Expo, and we've got bags and suitcases because we're filming this out of order. We actually filmed the show yesterday.
Yes, it was very cool.
Really cool. The stuff that our viewers are about to see is going to be absolutely awesome. We have electric trucks over here. Mobile DC chargers is a really big thing. The whole show this year is focused, as every year, on fleets, large groups of vehicles, and also large vehicles in general, transitioning to cleaner fuels. The reason I say that is because it's not just a battery electric show. There's hydrogen, there's compressed natural gas,
there's trucks.
There's everything. And I love this Exos mobile charging hub right here. It's like a few hundred kilowatt hours, I believe. And, it's basically got 4 CCS ports on the outside, which is cool. Harbinger has a huge presence as well with all of these battery electric box trucks. But inside, we are going to meet with so many experts, so many cool displays, all inside here, the Anaheim Convention Center. And while, maybe in years past, the push for battery electric was stronger, I still think there's a pretty big push for battery electric medium and heavy duty fleet applications, as well as just general passenger cars. Slate is here, GM is here, a bunch of other cool stuff. So we are going into Anaheim Convention Center for a full, super nerdy, long video of the ACT Expo, as we do every year. It's my favorite event of the year, or at least way up there, and can't wait to take you guys on a full tour. Let's do it. Well, we are inside of the convention hall now, and there's just so much cool stuff everywhere. So we're going to go on a typical full tour in here, and well, there's some cool stuff to see. I actually think we should go this way first because Honda has their official booth here, bringing a bunch of hydrogen fuel cell stuff, but they actually have you know, like for their powertrains, for their semi-trucks and other things. Probably not worth getting into too much in this video, but they brought along a Moto Compacto, which is one of my favorite little things, which is that right there. And it's just a cool little scooter, and that's always cool. But they've also brought this, which is a car I've wanted to review for a while because it's a plug-in hybrid, like you would imagine. So it has a battery pack and a J1772 port, but it runs with a hydrogen fuel cell. So it's a hydrogen plug-in hybrid CRV built in Ohio in the old factory where the NSX was built, which is kind of cool. So I've always thought, hey, we should do a thing with this. And yeah, maybe one day we will. I just think it's such a wild powertrain. We can't ignore it. This is awesome, Range Energy. And I know about these guys because some of my friends are friends with these guys. And basically they put electric motors in semi-truck trailers to extend the fuel mileage of diesel trucks and also helps push along a battery electric truck. They've invited us out to the track to like do drag races with this trailer and a normal truck. It was pretty cool. We never got the chance to do it, but my buddy Matt at the Smoking Tire did it at Sonoma Raceway. He drag raced it against the Lucid Sapphire, which was hilarious. And so that's pretty cool. I think that deserves a dedicated video. And as we go through the entire hauls today, you'll see a lot of things that probably will gloss over, we don't know about, a lot of things I will tell you more about. If there's anything in particular that you see here that you really want to see in-depth videos on, leave a comment, because we can always arrange videos with folks outside of this event. And that's always what I try to do, is give you the overview of what's happening with fleet electrification and even some sustainability beyond battery electric. And like, for example, here you have the Hyundai hydrogen truck. That pretty much has remained the same for the last couple of years. Nothing new there as far as I can tell. And then you see cool stuff like this. They were just at a crazy show. This is essentially a convertible rear-engined sports school bus. This is the chassis of a school bus, and it's powered by Ride, and it uses a Blade battery. I don't know if that's BYD Blade. Oh, it says do not touch the equipment. I just touched it. Things are off to a good start, but you know, just cool stuff. Open chassis platforms here for Ride, and they can of course put whatever top hat you want to on top of that. Now, it's not just trucks and buses and trailers. Of course, charging companies have to charge up those vehicles, like, you know, for fleet applications. And Tridium just pulled the cover off of their new situation. Now, I thought Tridium went out of business. They did not. Things are good, according to them. My buddy Arcady is their new CEO. He came from FreeWire, and we know FreeWire went out of business, so now Arcady's here, but he says things are good. So I would like to get him on camera. This is their new DC-fed charger. So they have a main basic DC microgrid that feeds a bunch of dispensers. I don't know anything about it. I think Walter's shooting a full dedicated bits video on this, but I would love to get someone on camera. So let's see who can talk about this. Yeah, Jordan, I'm Kyle. Good to see you again.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining the video.
No problem.
This is brand new.
Brand new, that's right. So we're up to the EVT phase. We built 5 of these prototypes. So the next couple of months, we'll be building 12 of these pre-production versions, and then kind of moving towards start of production in September this year.
So it looks just like a normal dispenser from my side, but yep. I imagine you have DC to DC modules in here?
It does not.
Oh, really?
So no.
Okay, so that's different than what we've saw at the last show.
So yeah, you had a chat with one of my colleagues, Caleb Walsh, where he walked you through the DC-fed architecture, where it looks similar, but with DC-DC modules inside it.
Yeah.
So this is a departure back to a more traditional distributed system.
Okay.
All the power modules are in the power unit.
And how many kilowatts is the power unit up to?
So 8. So it's a modular system. So each one of those are 800 kilowatts.
Okay. But that's pretty small for 800 kilowatts.
So it's double the power density of our first generation of power modules.
Yeah.
So it's getting up there.
It's liquid cooled power modules.
All still liquid cooled.
Can we open it up?
Yeah.
Let's start there. That's where it all happens. So you've got the grid-fed AC input to here, basically.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. And this is what does all of the power conversion then.
That's right. So all IP65 sealed the bottom 2/3 of it.
Yep.
So a cooling system on the top with radiators and pumps and reservoirs. So it's still separated though in AC-DC and DC-DC conversion, physically separate.
So you still do it that way, where you have AC to DC modules, and then those DCs feed the DC microgrid.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. And so is it separated left and right?
So it's completely modular, so you can configure it, and we've left it like that for applications like where you might have an MV connected BESS system and you don't have any low voltage AC to DC conversion. So for DC fed sites, you'd only be using these sort of power units on the right, which are the DC to DC ones. So, but that's the fundamental kind of starting block is the 800 kilowatts. It's all modular though to be connected above ground.
Okay.
So you can continue to stack these on a common plinth that would go up to 1.6 megawatts of the AC/DC.
I just think it's so impressive, you know, for the viewers at home. Tesla's supercharging cabinet that we're most used to seeing is 365 kilowatts.
Yep.
And that's bigger than this.
Yep.
And this is 800 kilowatts.
Yep.
So that's, to me, really impressive.
So it's getting up there in terms of power density. We've got, as I said, it's double. So that's one of the modules.
Oh, cool.
It's in the glass case
so
here.
it's spider-proof, completely sealed.
It's not an IP65 glass cabinet.
Could a spider get in there? I mean, into the module, not the.
So the modules themselves are still sealed within the cabinet.
Yeah, so you're good.
So
the only reason I bring that up was it was Caleb who I talked to last time. He's like, in Australia, we've got a lot of spiders. He's like, tritiums don't have to worry about spiders. I'm like, man, that's a good selling point.
So we're good for the spiders,
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So this is about double the power and the same volume as what we were doing in the
And these are, so those were 40 kilowatt modules or 20?
Yeah. So this one here is the one that's all DC to DC modules.
Yes.
These are still 25 kilowatts.
Okay.
So these are basically the same size but half the height.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Still 25 kilowatts.
Got it.
And that's just to maintain that granularity on power sharing.
So you have a 25 kilowatt switching between the two. And then the output bus bars can essentially handle any configuration, or there's some limitations as to where you can route power?
So from the output of the DC to DC modules, you can see inside the modules, there's integrated matrix switching inside the modules as well.
Oh, okay.
And so that way it scales. The more modules you add, the more switches you get to be able to distribute that power as well. And so then there's several sort of variations that you can do on the output of that to route that power to different numbers of connectors.
So this product is still in production?
It is still in production.
And so you offer a all-in-one unit and a DC to DC version of this.
Exactly.
What is it called?
So this one is this is the DC fed, which is the PKM 150.
Okay, and we've seen like Revolt charging hubs use this unit and other stuff.
Yeah, they've been using both of these as well. Yeah. So, and that's the all-in-one version that you're referring to that you...
Yep, I've used this a bunch. We have a few of these in Colorado, the all-in-ones. Yep.
So these have probably got 90% overlap between parts, common parts between them, but the difference here being...
Yeah, and if you come in here, we can show everyone. So these are the AC to DC conversion modules, and then these are the DC to DC output ones.
Exactly.
Okay. Yep. Very cool. Nice chunky bus bars everywhere. We love to see it. And so, okay, I get that. So you've got the new DC fed, basically 800 kilowatts situation. What's different about the dispenser on this thing?
So this dispenser's, so first part about it is just the design language of this is a little bit back to reflecting Tridium's kind of roots, where we came from with the first products that we had. Yeah. So you can see the form of it's really a modernized version of what we were very proud of back in the day with our first 50 kilowatt all-in-one chargers.
I've got one of those.
Do you really?
Yeah, I just bought one at auction, and so,
So you can see the shape of it kind of reflects
come on over
that.
and take a look at this over
so
here.
We call that the shield shape.
Yeah.
And so it's a modernized version of that, but no modules inside it. It is 2 channels. So it's still 2 chargers in one, right? It's a simultaneous dispenser.
Very good. Nice.
So 2 600 amp feeds coming to it that can either go left or right cables simultaneously.
Okay.
Bottom half of it's all the chiller, the cooling system that rejects
for the cables and everything.
Yeah, from the ethanol liquid cooled cables.
Yep. And are these 600 amp continuous cables?
That's the boost mode. So they're 500 continuous.
Okay, and they'll boost to 600. Most cars don't sit above 500 amps for that long.
That's right.
Do you know, you boost based off of temperature or time?
So it's both.
Okay.
So but you have to derate once you hit that temperature.
You don't have to. I mean, we can burn some cables up. That should be fine.
That's usually the way we design chargers, is we are derating based on pin temperatures.
Sure, absolutely. And NACS also has for J3400, their like handle temperature 60 degrees Celsius limit, which is annoying, but it's okay. Cool. So congrats on the new product. 400 kilowatt dispenser. You can hook up how many of these to one cabinet?
So there's 16 individual circuits out of each power unit.
Wow.
So that would be, for a simultaneous dispenser, that means 8 of these per cabinet.
So you could do, basically 100 kilowatts, or it'd be 50 kilowatt per port.
Exactly.
It goes
so
down
50 kilowatt with 25 kilowatt resolution. So it could be 25 and 75 or 50-50 or 100-0.
Good one solution for a fleet then.
Yeah, and so then we'll have a version of this. So you could have this one, which would be suitable for your 500, 600 amps, and a single cable version of this, which would be up to 640 kilowatts with, over 800 amps.
Would love to see it. That's awesome. Well, congrats on the new product launch. I want to get Arcady on camera really quick and just talk about the business side of things. And then we've still got the rest of the show to show everyone. These are long videos, but thank you, Jordan. Really appreciate it. It was nice to see you today. And I'm going to steal the mic back from you. Arcady, I'm stealing you. This is going on you.
All right.
You have to explain.
I met at Walter earlier.
Oh, great.
He was great.
Okay. Walter is great.
He is great.
So Jordan just gave us the rundown on the new system.
Great.
Last time we saw you, you were at a different company.
Yes.
Now you're at Tridium, which is exciting.
I'm excited about it. It's been 5 months.
Okay, so this is what I think the viewers and I are confused about. Give us the lowdown on what is up with Tridium, because the last I heard was bad stuff.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So Tridium's been around since 1994. They began selling motor controllers for solar race cars.
What the heck? That's cool.
Which was barely a market then, is not really a market today. Eventually, they launched one of the first DC fast charging cars, the RT50, that you just bought. You got one in auction.
Yes.
There are a lot of those.
If it's broken, I'm sending it back, by the way. Warranty.
I will take it back gladly. And I'll give you a newer one, a better one.
Great.
So we sold a lot of those RT50s in the market. That was the original ChargePoint 50 kilowatt charger here in the US.
That's right.
But globally, we sold about 7,000 of those units.
And they were all over the Nordics, the early days. Those that powered EVs all around the world, really.
That's right. That's right. And the first one got installed 13 years ago and just got pulled out of the ground about 2 months ago.
Oh, wow.
So the fact that it lasted that long is a testament. But it is not just generation 1 hardware, that was generation 0.1 hardware.
Love it.
Tridium scaled, right? Tridium went public. We ended up doing over $200 million in revenue in 2023. But when the industry in the US softened the Inflation Reduction Act and the NEVI program, we were the sub-awardee for a lot of NEVI programs across the country. When that softened, we got over our skis. We bought too much inventory. We scaled our production capacity too fast. We hired too many people. This company celebrated when it hired its 1,000th person.
Wow.
I argue that's not really something to celebrate about.
Sure.
And so we got over our skis. And when the market did soften and demand dropped, we were caught flat-footed, and the company filed for what's called voluntary administration, effectively bankruptcy. It's not exactly that, but effectively. And then about 6 to 9 months later, the company was sold. So now we are owned by a publicly traded company.
Okay.
And I have spent the last 5 months rebuilding the team. I hired about 100 people in the last 5 months.
Damn.
70% of my time is spent with service and talking to customers about their products. And we've rebuilt our service team from only about 15 people to now 68 people. And we are going, not just relying on our technology, which is what Tridium did. We relied on our technology in the past. I'm going to be the easiest company to work with. My goal is, if you want to call me or anybody on the team, you can call us. We'll pick up the phone and we'll solve your problems. If we're just the easiest company to work with, that's what I think customers want today.
That's what everyone needs.
And behind that, there's also good technology, but that should come second behind the people.
So your personal passion has always been battery integrated, grid limited situations. Are you going to bring any of that stuff over to Tridium one day?
It's one of the reasons I was excited about this. So we currently have a DC fed charging station.
Yes.
But it's amazing. We've sold hundreds of those units. I sold 100 of them just last quarter.
Nice.
But Tridium has never advertised it because we didn't know that it was a market category. And I come in with my DC and battery fed.
It's perfect to go just buck boost from the battery pack to the output.
So we have a DC fed 150 kilowatt charging station. It can go to as little as 50 up to 150. You give it 950 volts DC and it's happy. And so you can bring in your own rectification unit, you can bring your own battery, you can bring in anything. And that is where the market is headed.
Absolutely.
And we have a ton of those sales.
2,
if the new TriFlex launch that we launched today, we specifically, as Jordan pointed out, separated the AC power modules and the DC power modules. So a very common use case that we're hearing from customers, let's say you have 800 kilowatts of grid power,
Yep.
get 800 kilowatts of AC power modules.
Yeah, max that thing out.
But then spec 1.6 megawatts of DC power modules.
Yep.
When vehicle demand calls for it, just keep feeding batteries onto the DC side to bridge the gap between 800 and 1.6.
Super smart. So you can granular go in between and then add the extra capacity from batteries like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Sick. Okay, so Tridium's back. That's what we're hearing.
We're back.
Okay.
And we want to work with everybody.
I love it.
And we have good tech, and we're going to service people, and just glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here because we've worked together in the past just on other projects and stuff. Always fun to work with you, and you always build great teams. So, okay, excited. That's the good news of the day.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, well, thanks for joining in the video.
Thanks, Scott.
We've got the rest of the show to go see, but we basically started with you guys, so I'm stealing the mic back, and we'll see you around at the rest of the show.
Is it listed on here?
Nope.
Oh, it's
It's just us two, but I'll tell her you said hey.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. See you, dude.
See you.
All right, cool beans. Well, great to hear from Arcady. As always, that dude is just a legend in the charging space. He really started his first product as a mobile level 2 battery-powered charger for like Silicon Valley tech companies where people would show up in their electric cars and they could charge anywhere. He then built that into FreeWire, and we got to still see the rest of the show, so let's go this way. And anyway, I just think he's awesome. The whole FreeWire situation was unfortunate. The whole Tridium situation was unfortunate, but that gave me a lot of confidence. So we actually have a new presenter with me at the show. Your job's not a presenter, but I'm going to hand this to Scott. So Scott's behind the camera. You got to hold it close.
Hi there.
Hey there. So it's your first EV show.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think it's really cool. I also work in the logistics industry, so I think it's neat to see how they're trying to move fleets over to be fully electric.
On-site fuel storage, hydrogen. Oh, this is like turn hydrogen into an EV charger. That's pretty cool. Does Scott like that or no?
I don't know much about that.
Yeah. So Scott does all the like scheduling behind the scenes.
I've avoided a video for a while.
Yeah, you have. But you're getting a Rivian, so we decided you got to join at some point.
It's true.
Got to learn how charging works. Okay, so we've got Motive Electric Trucks right over here as we continue on with the show. And yeah, again, another one of those sort of chassis manufacturers, probably parts supplying a bunch of different batteries or whatever. Very configurable. You can make box trucks. And again, this whole show is focused on fleet applications, which is perfect for stuff like that there. We have a supplier of looks like electric machines. So you have 3-in-1 modules for drivetrains, e-axles as well. And it's JJE, so a huge manufacturer of electric motors, stuff like that all around. We're sort of in the back corner, Scott.
Yes.
And there's so much cool stuff here to see. Tesla Semi is my dream vehicle. So of course I'm going to show everyone that. But
it was pretty sweet.
if we could just drive the Semi around here, that would be amazing. You're going to see a bunch of companies basically competing in this space. So you have Sonatus, and then you're going to see a bunch of other of these like drayage and also airport level type moving around trucks. Hydrogen is here as well because one of the big themes of this year is a lot of the EV mandates that everyone's been planning around are kind of going away, or at least opening to different technologies because of the new administration kind of backing off from the battery electric concepts. And I also want to show this here, another hydrogen to charging station, hydrogen generator, I should say. And here it is charging a Genesis G80 electric, which no one knows exists. And now you do. We've used it in other videos.
That was new information for me.
Yeah, that car doesn't even look like an EV. So with the new administration kind of backing off, you're seeing a bunch of explosion back into hearing clean diesel pop back up at this show, which was almost not mentioned last year at all. Compressed natural gas improvements, hydrogens coming up, and of course, hybrid, traditional hybrid, also range. There's a really cool company here called Revolt that's doing like a diesel electric, almost like a train situation, which is pretty cool with a battery pack in the loop. And of course, battery electric is still huge. If you look this way to your left, you're going to see a bunch of charging companies and stuff, which we're going to run through a lot of these here. This little e-boost seems pretty cool. It's like a propane powered mobile charger. So this, I mean, that's perfect for what we need for range testing at the end. Now that the Cybertruck's going away, we run every car from 100% to 0. We got to figure out, basically what we're going to do. Now, Scott, to get around the show, we've got to go, we're going to do like a loop this way, and then we're going to go down to Flow, because I do want to show everyone the Flow charger as well. StarCharge has been a longtime supporter of Out of Spec, so we should pop in and just take a look at some of their equipment. Of course, StarCharge, what was the saying I said in every video? It's the largest manufacturer of EV charging products or something. It was in the beginning of every episode. And here they have some of their new products on display. So this is a 480 kilowatt dispenser. They also have some all-in-one products over this way, and also just different designs. You can pretty much customize these however you want. They're totally customizable. They'll white label any of your stuff. And they are like a huge EVSE manufacturer on the back end, but a lot of people don't really know them per se because they're not branding their own chargers as StarCharge in our market. In China, different story. These are everywhere. And so we've charged at StarCharge chargers in China, and just absolutely insane. I've done a full tour of this product right here. This is their battery grid-tied battery bank, which you can scale as big as you want, but many hundreds of kilowatt hours in this thing, which is pretty sick. So we've already shown some of that. Are we missing anything down here? Yes. We have to show everyone some cool stuff. These guys were viewers, UU Green Power. So they also have this pretty cool NACS to V to L situation. So, hey there, you can basically plug this into a NACS vehicle that will support it one day. Do you want to explain this really quick?
Okay.
Let me hand you a, where is it? Oh yeah, there you go. If you just hold this close to your mouth, that'll be perfect.
Okay.
So this was the V to L situation, but when cars support it, right?
Yes. So this is some kind of V2V like things. So you can charge one end to the vehicle and the another end to the another vehicle. So
okay.
that can be used in, for example, like emergency roadside assistance scenario. Yeah.
That'd be perfect. And how long do you think until cars start to do this?
So there are two versions of this. One is 30 kilowatts, so another one is 40 kilowatts.
Oh, well, that's
so
pretty big power.
Yeah. So I reckon it should be pretty quick.
Yeah, but then, I mean, in terms of when the cars themselves will support the technology,
yes,
this is still unknown.
Yeah, still not that quick.
But maybe some trucks sooner than others?
Trucks, probably. Yeah.
Would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you guys also provide power modules, right?
Yes,
Air-cooled
that's
and
correct.
liquid-cooled,
Yes,
different
yes.
AC to DC rectifiers.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so this is a 60 kilowatt one.
Yeah, this is our latest 60 kilowatts air cool. Yeah.
It's tiny for 60 kilowatts.
Yeah. The size is just a little bit higher than our 40 kilowatts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, good to see you. Excited to see some cool stuff coming. I'll steal the mic back.
All right,
So
sure.
thanks very much. But thanks for joining for the video. Of course, we'll see you. Guys, we are over here at InfyPower, longtime supporters of Out of Spec, and they've brought a new battery storage system situation. You got to explain what this is. Great to see you again. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so this one is our new product for energy storage charging solution. So this one, we put a 350 kilowatt battery inside. The liquid cooling battery can support 1C charge and discharge. So this is LFP battery.
Yeah, LFP is awesome because you can cycle it. It's awesome. And the 1C charging, most every battery energy storage system is 0.5C because a lot of regulations require a 2-hour runtime.
Yes.
But you can still derate this to 0.5C if you had to. But it's nice that you can go to 1C.
Yeah, we can do.
That's pretty sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
The second one, we integrate liquid cooling power modules. So we can do AC to DC bidirectional. We can do DC to DC bidirectional.
And that's all this level right here.
Yes.
And that's what you guys are known for, best in the business of power modules.
For example, if the AC grid only can support 50 kilowatts or 75 kilowatts, but the charger needs 400 kilowatts, so we can do, 50 or 70 kilowatts from grid, 350 kilowatts from the battery.
Yep.
So we also can integrate solar input because we have the MPPT module inside.
Oh, nice.
So we can connect roughly 70 kilowatts solar panel inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in just one 350 kilowatt hour box, basically.
Yes.
And so obviously this is miniaturized, but how big would it be in real life?
Real life, just one moment.
2.2 meter high.
So 2.2 meters high.
Yeah, and 2.8.
Oh, so it's not that big.
Not big.
Oh, so it's not that miniaturized. Yeah, but okay.
1.1 meter depth.
Oh, okay. So only 1.1 meters in depth. That's not bad at all. So if you have a DC charging site that's grid limited, you can essentially just drop this in. The power can come from anywhere, and you can distribute it anywhere.
This one is a dispenser.
Yeah.
You can take this one as a power cube, power and battery cube. Also, you can use the dispenser.
Yeah.
So they can support 2 dispensers, totally 4 connectors.
Wow.
Yeah.
So everyone should just put this out of sight, and you don't have to upgrade the grid in most cases.
Yes.
Because that's the biggest holdup is, especially here in the US, like a 2-year wait for transformers sometimes. You can take like an existing small grid connection, drop this in, it just stays charging all the time.
Yes.
And then you can rapid charge, but I love that you can integrate solar, and I love that your modules can do AC or DC and totally configurable.
Yes. Yes.
So that's what InfyPower does. Pretty cool. We work with cool companies. So shout out to you guys, and thanks for the tour on this. Can we have one?
Of course.
Thank you guys, appreciate it. Great to see you as always. That was really fun, really fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna continue around. The thing with these shows, you just meet the coolest people. And great to have viewers from all over. So she was a viewer we met yesterday from China. Super cool, watch some of our Chinese videos. And now we're heading over to Delta. And Delta is a big boy player in our market because, of course, EVgo pretty much uses them exclusively right now. So I'm very interested to see what new products come out from them. This is a charger we're very familiar seeing out in the public space. It's actually the only public high power charger that supports 540 amps at the moment. I guess Alpitronics now are out, so maybe that's outdated. I shouldn't say that. But 540 amps is great. We now are starting to see more 600 amp chargers come to the market, but still awesome that EVgo selected these. And generally, they work pretty well. Sometimes they derate in really cold temps, but I've been having very good luck with these, and it's mostly on the implementation side where I could see some improvements from the EVgo side. But came over here, just wanted to clarify they have low power chargers, high power chargers, but then they also have their split system, which is new. Do one of you guys want to explain the new split system?
Which one, this one?
Yeah.
So this is our power cabinet. All the power electronics is stored over here. 600 kilowatts to 750 kilowatts, that's a range.
Okay.
But what's special about this is you can parallel up to 4 of these units to get 3 megawatts.
Well, that's pretty good.
And they can be paired. Each cabinet can be paired with 4 dispensers, and we've got different types of dispensers. You've already seen that.
Yeah,
and,
we just saw the MCS.
Yep. So with the 3 megawatt charging, when you have large infrastructure projects, this is a very economical way to do it, where you have bulk power conversion and the dispenser separate.
So what's going on here? This is all your switching matrix on this side?
Exactly. So what happens is these are 25 kilowatt modules. What happens is you want to have the ability to source a certain amount of power in each of these dispensers. So we have the ability to have a granularity of 50 kilowatts per dispenser switching capacity. So if you're at, say, as an example, if you're at 600 kilowatt capacity and you have 4 dispensers at 150 kilowatts each, you could drop one to 100 and pick the other one up to 200.
Sure, of course. As cars start to fill up, you can do all that.
Exactly, yeah.
My only question, and I think it's cool, but why is it so big?
So actually, there's some of the cabling is not completely shown over here.
Okay,
We need that room. And there's also more switching gear that is not completely populated at this time for the show.
And how many outputs can you put up to this again?
4.
4 outputs up to, what was the total power conversion you can fit?
750 kilowatts in this one.
750 kilowatt, 4 output. Cool. Well, good to see it. Do you think we're going to see like CPOs go for this, or is this more for fleet applications?
I think it could be both. We have to see how the market evolves, because I think there's medium heavy duty fleet applications. There's also a lot of ride-share applications that are picking up where you can see 200 kilowatt charging dispensers. So this could fit there as well.
Very cool. Well, thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I'm going to...
Thank you, Kyle. Pleasure meeting you in person.
I'm going to steal the mic back from you.
Of course.
So thank you. And yeah, good luck to you guys at Delta. Love using your chargers out in the public. I use them for charge testing a lot. So thank you very much.
I've been following you for a while.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. And we've got some other cool charging stuff over here. We have some level 2 equipment. Hey there, good to see you. And so do you want to tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
Yeah.
I'll throw the mic on if that's okay. Yeah, perfect. You can actually even just hold it if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Hi, everyone. This is Hannah from Top Band.
Hey, Hannah.
Hi. So we are a manufacturer for multiple product lines, home appliances, like batteries, inverters, and EV chargers. We have multiple overseas factories, one in Romania,
oh, cool.
one in Mexico, India, Vietnam.
Very
So right now, this booth is all about EV chargers.
Yeah.
So we are showing level 2. So this one is 48 amperes. This one is 80. We have them all UL certified.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Well, that's step one. Got to get it UL certified. So
Yeah.
wonderful. And you also have a mobile EVSE that's
Yeah.
40 amps, which is
Yes.
pretty unusual to find. And I'm glad that, you have it up to 40 amps because that's the maximum you can run continuous on this
Yes.
NEMA 1450 plug. And that so many of them are 32 amps, but go 40 amps if you can. So you're not selling these directly. You guys are white labeling them, right?
Yes, through some e-commerce large brand.
Yeah, very cool. So I'm excited to see them, whoever decides to use it, come to the market.
Yeah.
And thank you, Hannah, for showing us around this.
Thank you.
Yep. Great. Well, we're going to blast, but we'll see you later on, Hannah. Bye-bye. Okay, very cool. Back to this product really quick. I just can't get over how big it is. So we just saw the Tridium 800 kilowatt cabinet with 8 dispenser output. And this is 4 dispenser output and only 750 kilowatts and like 5 times the size. So power density of that is really bad. So I'm surprised Delta would do that, unless I'm missing something, but I don't think I am because Tridium said you can stack them all up. Those you can stack up. So why is that absolutely massive? That's just, ugh. I didn't want to say it to the guy, but I was like, dude, this thing is huge. It was massive. Okay, speaking of massive chargers, we're going over to our friends at Flow. Now, this is a completely different design and type of DC charging equipment that I have a full dedicated video on this channel about. You can see my buddy Brooks over here. We did a video with him before, but essentially this is the Flow Ultra. It's a pretty sick DC charger. It's got really cool cable management in here. It's 320 kilowatts, but the cool part about it is it's low and all the AC to DC rectification happens in here. That means you can have a pull-through situation or a double back-in. So when you do a pull-through, they'll actually mount this screen on the other side, so you can have, one in each direction. You've also got, oh, maybe they have it locked in here? Yeah, they may have it locked for display. Hold on, let's see what's going on. We've got this, and we can just easily pull down on the cable, and you can see it comes back, which is wonderful. So super light pull force on there, which is great. Now, when charging is done, it'll automatically retract, but I'm pretty sure, I gotta ask Brooks how to put this thing back in. Yeah, there we go. A little tug, power comes in. There is like an automatic, when charging is done, you unplug it, it pulls itself in, but we didn't interface it with the car. But I just think it's the coolest cable management in the business. The question is, how will it hold up over time? Well, I went inside their labs. We did a whole video with the torture test chambers that this thing has been in, and it's been absolutely insane. So we're not going to spend too much time here because we already have a dedicated video on this exact charger. I went to their headquarters in Canada just to film this thing, and it's freaking awesome. It's very cool. I have not charged on it outside of there, but they have more clients coming. You guys will be familiar with their AC products. So this is their level 2 situation right here. It's perfect for like lamppost charging or in-city charging. We did a whole video recently with their New York charging locations. They basically did a thing with New York Power Authority where they blanketed New York City with a bunch of these like super hardy level 2 stations. You can see it's almost tamper-proof because the cable's behind here, and it only unlocks when you actually activate the station. So it's much safer for cables. Super hardy. Flow has always been about like extreme uptime, extreme reliability, and I just hope that transfers to their new Flow Ultra, their high-powered DC charging station. Flow offers a bunch of other stuff, but they're very unusual in the sense where they're a CPO and a hardware manufacturer, but then they'll also sell to other CPOs. So it's a kind of a weird vibe with them, but they're really cool and absolutely love it. We are over here at BTC Power, and this is running a very small version of Windows. Is it working? Team viewer? No, doesn't seem to work, but that's kind of funny that that's running Windows. It's probably not supposed to. We have a long history with BTC Power. They've been making charging equipment for a super long period of time. They are pretty much the main supplier for Electrify America's new Gen 4 chargers. And I don't see any of them there, but they have some all-in-ones over here as well. I really think BTC has gotten quality up recently. We've seen the Electrify America network get so much better, in large part due to software, in some part due to the hardware selections. And, we've had a little bit of a rocky pass with them. If you guys remember the They Don't Work in the Cold video, when our entire Colorado EA station went offline because it got cold outside, well, that was all BTC hardware. And to be fair, like they sent the entire company out to that station on Christmas Eve to try and fix it for everyone, but it was a rough patch. I think they're kind of past those weird reliability early issues, and we're starting to see some nice dispenser systems. Like this is their design for a split system. This would be the dispenser. It looks really nice, an all-in-one charger. And I'd love to go visit with these guys. We probably owe them a video just to like see what's going on, what's the latest and greatest tech that they're working on as well. And their lab's right here in Southern California, like right here in the Anaheim area. So definitely worth going over and meeting with them at some point and checking them out. So BTC Power, I would say, doing a pretty good job recently from my impression. I think we've done a good job of covering this side of the hall. Holy smokes, there's so much to get into, Scott. You want to tell everyone what you think about all the different charging companies? Did you even know these all existed?
I had no idea these existed. I just thought all chargers were essentially the same. It just looked different.
Yeah.
That is not the case.
No.
And the amount of different charging companies is wild to me.
Yeah, so here's actually, like, speaking of charging, this is a Vollex connector company. So they make, J3400 handles like this. We've seen these very popular now. This is their, I don't know how many amps this one's rated for. Let's see, 350 amps nominal, but it should boost higher. This is their NACS connection right there, so kind of cool. This is their CCS1 connection. So we've seen these connectors, mostly they're NACS connectors. I'm pretty sure Kempower is using them and others. Really nice handles, nice connectors. So shout out Vollex, appreciate you guys. Really helped with the NACS transition actually, because they were one of the first NACS handle manufacturers out there. So of course they make level 2 units as well. So here's NACS J3400, but from an AC side, so much more compact, feels just like a Tesla handle with the built-in release right there. And they have their bunch of adapters up here, which is kind of cool. So they have in every which way, NACS to CCS, CCS to NACS. They have type 2 to, I don't know if it's GBT or the other side or what they have going on, but a bunch of cool adapters and cool stuff. So that's the kind of stuff you can find at the show, which is always exciting to see. There's a bunch of neat things. Okay. We obviously can't stop in at every booth, but we got to stop in at the heavy hitters, and Kempower in the charging world is right up there with the best. I've been a Kempower fan since I used them in the Nordics for the first time. Let's actually go to that side because that's where the existing products are. And, they just build some of the coolest, best chargers. Now they've opened up a factory and headquarters in the US in Durham, North Carolina. And they're starting to put chargers in way more places. And of course, they're not the ones installing chargers. They're relying on ChargePoint operators or CPOs to buy their equipment and then install them. But we just had a video go up, I think this morning at the time of the recording on our Bits channel from our buddy Walter, who's also here, talking about how Kempower is selling a ton and they're installing CPOs are installing a bunch of these, especially in Appalachia, Eastern Tennessee, Western North Carolina, Michigan, Minnesota. And the one thing, the claim to fame for Kempower has always been hardcore reliability. They started as a company called Kempi, building welders. They took a lot of that welding technology to turn it into AC to DC power modules for EV charging. Their charging dispensers pretty much look like this, and then you can stack them as far out as you want to go. So you can go super high power level, great, 25 kilowatt switching granularity, which is awesome. And you can feed a bunch of different satellites all throughout here. Now there's some new products over on the other side that we definitely have to go check out. Let's go see some of those. And I'd like to get someone from Kempower to explain some stuff. Maybe Jim can tell us. You want to join on the video? Hey there. Sure. Hey.
Glad I showed you.
Yeah, great. Oh yeah, no worries. It's all good. You want to tell us about some chargers? I mean, Kempower stuff.
Yeah, Kempower is.
All right, here you go. You can hold it. Just hold it up or lock it, however you like. Yeah.
Kempower, we were one of the very first partners in the U.S. Been to their factory twice in Finland. Really impressive stuff. Our customers that bought it love it.
Yeah. So you actually sell Kempower equipment.
Yeah.
We got to shout out your site. What is it?
National Car Charging.
Yep. Based in Colorado, by the way.
Based in Colorado, just about 60 miles away from you guys.
Yep.
And we actually have a big contract with the state of California.
Great.
In fact, the transportation department is buying a ton of these movables right now.
Okay.
As they're waiting for all
these
their
ones on wheels.
Yep, 50 kilowatts, 1 or 2 cables.
What are they doing with them?
They're charging their fleet while they're waiting for their facilities to get upgraded by the utilities.
I see.
Where they can put in bigger stuff.
Yeah, big boy chargers.
Yeah, exactly. But great company to work with, fantastic product, great service. It's been a really great experience as a reseller.
Yeah, I was just telling the viewers how I've always loved them because they just work. Kempowers are hardy. They're like, you know, I've been in the Arctic Circle charging on these things when it's cold, and they just work without question.
Yep. Well, we can thank our friend Martin over in the UK for turning me on to them.
Yep.
I reached out and I actually went out to Finland, signed the contract there. It was really a great experience.
Amazing.
And then North Carolina, the plant is equally impressive.
Yeah, just was in the plant recently. It was super cool. I shot a video there, and man, I'm kind of excited now that we're starting to see more Kempower stations getting installed. It felt a little bit weak sauce the last couple years. Like, we did a bunch of videos with them, and then, you know, it takes time to get sites put in the ground, but it just felt like it wasn't coming. And now they're kind of getting, especially in Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, that region, Colorado, you've got some spaces with the all-in-ones.
Put a couple in, and actually, they're based in Durham locally in the U.S., and City of Durham just ordered their first charger.
Oh, good.
It's going to be about 5 miles away from the plant. So,
yeah, well, it would be wild if they didn't install them.
yeah, so we're very glad about that.
Yeah, cool. Well, good to see you, Jim. Appreciate you joining on the channel. We've shown the viewer, well, you've been on our videos many times, so everyone should know you. We've shown everyone this. We've shown everyone the other stuff. Sure. We haven't shown this. Okay. So this is cool. Yep. Because it's big power.
Right.
Okay, so the power module stacks are the same.
Yeah, you're just instead of the maximum being 3 cabinets at 600 kilowatts, now you just double that. So 6 cabinets at 1.2 megawatts, 1,200 kilowatts.
I love it. So Kempower's in the megawatt space.
We are, yes.
Okay, and this is one of the craziest, coolest looking dispensers I've seen. Yep. The thing Kempower always got right historically is cable management. Without question, you guys had the coolest with the springs and everything. Now everyone's copying that.
Right.
This is totally unique. Right. I've never seen a cable management. Now, we all know MCS is absolute. So is that just a pull out?
Just a pull out, yep.
Yep. And then you've got this spring up top that will bend down. Is it okay to pull it out?
Come on, come on.
All right, we can rip on it.
I'm going to hold this because it's on a temporary thing, but
Oh, yeah, sure.
Come on out, yep.
But no, pretty cool that, you know, the connector itself can have some weight.
Yeah, it does have weight, but this takes it off of it.
I know. That's the most amazing part. So this is the easiest to use MCS connector. So a lot of it comes down to, yes, you want to do liquid cooled connections and make the cable as thin as possible. And you guys really are just buying supplier cables.
Right.
But the magic of Kempower has always been the cable management. And this is the best MCS cable management I've seen.
Yeah, you want to keep it, you know, this is heavy, like you say. And so you just want to take some of that off the user for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And maybe we can, because this is the first MCS connection we're actually showing in this video. A lot of viewers think, well, NACS is kind of the future, and it is, without question, but not for trucks.
Right.
For a big boy truck, you need a big boy connector. Yeah. And this can, technically, the standard goes to 3,000 amps or 3 megawatts at 1,000 volts. So, you know, this is basically a global standard for heavy duty applications, and you guys are supporting it, just like every other charging company has to, of course. But
yeah, and so little rotation there. The actual,
so that's interesting, the rotation part.
Yeah, that might not be the final design.
Okay.
But
Great.
Right. I think the other thing is this is agnostic to the cable. So we can have an MCS cable at 1,500 amps, 1,500 amps, or a CCS cable at 700 amps. And so we expect to see some of that while people are kind of transitioning to the standard.
Yeah, and especially with NACS going up to very high amperage. CCS, of course, has been bumping up recently. So the dispenser itself is way bigger than a satellite.
Yeah.
So what's going on in here?
There's liquid cooling in there as well.
Okay.
It has some extra electronics. And I think the other thing I always need to point out is it is just like our other systems, so that you could add 6 more satellites, normal satellites onto this, and then so you've got a demand charge system, but then overnight charge as well.
Right.
So,
yeah. I mean, I can't wait to plug something big into one of these.
Yeah, us too. So it's hard to find a truck right now that has it.
I know.
But certainly we'll be doing this with CCS as well and checking that out. So,
And we just sat in on the Tesla Semi presentation. They've confirmed they're going MCS. So as soon as we can get one of those, we'll bring it by the factory, try and blow something up. So
We'd love that.
Great to see you always. And thanks for the quick presentation on this. But you know, the satellite distributed system, that's all pretty much the same, which is great. And I'm glad to see more sites going in.
Yeah, us too.
Just had a video go up today explaining how there's more, especially in Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee. So congrats on that. But more to come. I'm a huge Kempower fan. So I'm going to steal the mic back from you. And there we go. We'll see you soon. Pretty cool to see our friends at Kempower. So we just had a quick conversation because we want to do some more Euro content. So I think Kempower is going to sponsor some Euro stuff so we can get more videos over there. Don't know. Sounds cool. Exciting. This is a vehicle I've wanted to show you guys for a while. This is an electric Ram ProMaster. And I'm going to check the charging port. It is not here, so they've blocked off the gas cap. I haven't seen this thing yet, but it's at 43% state of charge. And so it's like e-Transit or similar, but it's the Ram version. Where's the charging port on this thing? Is it on the passenger side? No. Don't see it. We got to find the charging port. Is it up front? Do we know anything about it? 162, it's got 110 kilowatt hour pack, 162 mile range. I bet it does more than that in the city, I would think. And says level 3 DC fast charging, which isn't really a thing. It's just DC fast charging. That's okay. We're going to give Stellantis a break in this video. 150 kilowatt charging, that's not bad for a van. That's way better than the Rivian van that does 100 kilowatt charging. I just don't know where the damn charge port is on this thing. So maybe we can ask someone. Sorry to bug you. Where's the charge port on this thing?
Charge port.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown, I've got a product question on the ProMaster.
Sorry to bug you. Well, I was just curious where the charge port was.
Same side as the fuel door.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's go take a look. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I would love to. Oh, I was just pulling on it the wrong way. I see how it goes. Sorry. It opens like that. Okay. We had the right idea. And it's just your level, your typical CCS connection there. So all good. We found it. I thought it opened this way. So
I also thought it opened that way.
well, my Sprinter opens up that way.
It would make most sense, right? Because this is where you grab. But
Right. Well, that's how it works on mine. So I didn't see this little cutout there. But let's show everyone inside. I mean, it looks just like a normal ProMaster. That's enough, Stellantis. Let's not ruin this video. And they also have the Dodge Charger EV over here, which I have a full review on this channel of the Dodge Charger EV. Continuing, ZF is over here, and they make some incredible automotive and heavy-duty supply stuff. They are famous for steer-by-wire. They are famous for powertrains, and this is a freaking chunky e-axle right here. Holy smokes, just some really cool stuff all around. It's definitely worth like talking to ZF, doing an in-depth video with these guys specifically on some of their heavy-duty electrification stuff that they're working on, because it's absolutely incredible. They also make amazing automatic transmissions, amazing manual transmissions. They're just a cool company. Love ZF, love their products. More to do with them in the future. Nidec is here. I've shown this in other videos. I don't think there's anything particularly new. This is their all-in-one 360 kilowatt DC fast charger. Supports NACS and CCS, whichever you want to go either way. How's it going? You want to give us a quick rundown on these things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you mind? I'm just going to clip this to you if that's
Sure
okay.
thing.
And what was your name?
Ron.
Ron Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
Good
Pleasure.
to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So,
How you doing?
I've seen these at the shows before, but I haven't really gotten a full rundown tour. I had a question about your cable management last time, because it looks so interesting. I've never seen one done like that.
Yeah, I mean it's no frills, but it works. It works well.
That's what we like
I
to
mean,
hear.
Yeah, exactly. So a few components. It's spring loaded.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean it's
Well,
pretty
it's nice that it
robust.
sucks itself back in. A lot of them are so weak they
Yeah,
can't
they're
get back
weak. This
up there.
this is nice. I mean, one of the nice things about the liquid cooled cable, it's smaller, a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
And it does play with the cable management system a little bit easier than
Sure.
some of the dry cables.
And of course, Nidec's a huge company. You don't just do chargers.
Right, of course, of course.
But why get into the charging business? What was the idea here?
It made sense for us. Our division, Nidec Conversion, is in power conversion. We're doing battery energy storage systems. We're doing power conversion containers. We do a lot of work in the ports and with cranes and mills, steel mills. So it just made sense for us to be because we're in the power conversion business to enter this market. We saw a need. We launched first in Europe in 2020. Been very successful there, and then released our first chargers in the U.S. Late last year.
Have any been installed for public use, or is it all free?
Yeah, so we have a couple of behind the fence fleet customers that we've installed, and we had some initial deployments just roll out recently. in Metro New York for a gas station chain there.
Oh, amazing. Congrats. So if you're in the New York area, try and spot one of these, tag us in the photo so that we can see these things out in the wild.
Yeah.
It's 360 kilowatt, all in one.
Yep.
Anything unique or special, kind of what sets it apart from the market?
So I think the fact that it's all in one 360 kW along with the advertising screen really fits.
That's a nice screen for sure.
Really fits nice with the fuel and convenience and retail space. They seem to really like that. I mean, you know the use case. You drive this EV drivers back into the store to buy Snickers bars and Red Bulls. You know?
Just advertise like Reese's Pieces on here or something. They'll go in and get one. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's unique to us. I mean, our company is really unique in that we're super bankable, well-funded, huge global company.
And that is so important to someone making a purchase that needs long-term service. Yeah. Because there's so many EV charging companies that are here this year that will not be here next year.
Exactly. And we've seen it, and you've seen it
every year.
One more, and then the service piece. So we're really committed to service. Really committed to having, something happens, we'll have a guy on site the next day to fix it if it can't be fixed over the air. Spare parts programs for bigger customers that will distribute spare parts across the country. And the biggest thing is we'll tap into our existing service network that we use for our battery energy storage projects or things like that. So we already have the infrastructure in place. We just needed to add another product to that.
Yeah, that's such a key advantage because so many charging companies that are just starting up have to then have a training program to get an individual electrician or local company, and who knows if they're going to follow the manual and do it correctly. If you guys have your own service network, then you're ready to rock.
Exactly, and it's not just the guys turning the screws on site too. It's really the technicians that are troubleshooting and doing the over the air work to make sure we're running preventative maintenance. We're troubleshooting before even a driver or an end customer knows what's wrong with the station. We'll know about it and dispatch somebody to fix it.
Love it.
So it's really unique to us, I think, and really serves a need in the market.
Well, I can't wait to charge on one day. I'd love to try it out. I want to hear what the fans sound like and some other stuff. So it should be fun and see all the the software and the screen. It seems to give you basic information for what you need. Love to see that.
Yep.
So thanks very much. Appreciate the tour. It was nice
no problem.
to see you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal the mic back from you. Thanks. All right, we'll see you at another one. Okay, bye-bye. And then here they have another all-in-one situation right over there. Doesn't look as nice as the one with the big screen, but still there for sure. Okay, a lot of chargers.
Lots of chargers.
We haven't even gotten to the trucks yet.
That's my favorite part.
Here's this for you, Scott. Are you a Kempower fan now?
I'm a huge Kempower fan. I've heard they always work.
That's the thing. They do. They really do. Okay, so we've got more sort of resellers of electric vehicle supply equipment and maybe some hardware manufacturing here. Orange EV is doing like a pretty cool another one of those like container driving around situations right here. I do think we should bang a left and go check out Electrify America over here and just see if there's anyone there that can talk on camera, because I would like to talk about their network, what's new, what's been going on, because in my impression, Electrify America has gotten way more reliable recently. So that's what we're going to do. We'll pause this. We'll see if there's someone here that can talk about it and try to talk about it.
All right.
So guys, this is Rachel. She works for Electrify America. And what is your responsibility for EA?
I am responsible for our business development, sales, and marketing communications.
Amazing. So big updates to EA recently. The story on our side has been, network's been working great. We've shown that. We've had much better reliability across our driving. So thank you to the team for all that from your side.
Glad to hear it.
We've also seen new chargers, and I know you can't get super into the specifics on suppliers and stuff, but the new chargers are the new Alpitronic Kuiper 400s, and they are awesome. I'm a huge fan of that hardware. We've just done a video in Orlando. And I'm noticing you're also putting in NACS connectors.
Correct. These are the first two locations where we have NACS on the network. They are our two Alpitronic sites to launch. Both of them are pilot locations, one in Orlando, one in Connecticut. We have a lot to learn, and our intention is very much to pilot this equipment, pilot the NACS experience. It's slightly different from the customer journey that most of our customers are very familiar with at this point. And so we are very much focused on testing, learning, and then deploying accordingly.
Yeah, because even things are different, like the screens on the side of the charger now, and the software isn't totally matching this experience. And so, yeah, I guess, is that confusing people? Are people liking it? Are they indifferent? What have you seen so far?
It's only been a week at one of the locations. Perhaps this is an opportunity for us to catch up a little bit later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once there is more data for us to glean. We are still very much in the learning stage, but I'd be happy to talk to you about it once we've gotten through pilot phasing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The next big update to EA that we've seen expand recently is the 85% maximum charging limit.
Yep.
So
congestion reduction effort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Totally needed, by the way, because there's nothing more annoying than watching a Bolt at 99% charge at 1 kilowatt. Not to single out Bolt owners, but you know. So I like the idea of incentivizing charging when the vehicle can accept maximum energy to increase throughput.
Yep.
Was there any discussion around potentially just charging more money above 85% rather than cutting charging off? Could you not do that because of regulations on how to display pricing, or what? How did this come to be?
It was intentionally designed. Again, we wanted to learn before we truly rolled it out across the entire network. And even now, we're still only at a portion of sites, only at metro locations, only where we're sure that drivers will have the ability, if they're on a longer drive, to reach another Electrify America station.
That's a really good key point.
It's a really important point.
Yep.
So we've been very deliberate about where we have deployed it so far. I think that you will continue to see that type of functionality from us, but honestly, the initial intent was to reduce the time that folks are queuing.
Yeah.
And so I think as we get more feedback from the market, we can listen more to our customers on what their pricing sensitivity is and where they are willing to pay for that extra 15%. You will continue to see that feature development from us, but today we're still really focused on, now that we've expanded it to other sites, is it still having the impact that we've seen so far, which is less queuing time and faster throughput for the drivers.
Yeah, I've never actually been to a site with it. I haven't been road tripping as much, but I want to get back out there. I want to try it out, see what happens.
Are you driving around here at the moment?
No, we just flew in for a couple days, and then we're
I was about to say, because I could point you to a handful in the LA area where we first launched that.
Well, I can just imagine it just takes so much frustration out of a lot of people waiting in line just to get cars going through the station.
Absolutely. And the awareness of all of our drivers is that they know that their last 15% is the slowest of the charging curve. And so overwhelmingly, we've seen online and sentiment, positive sentiment.
Same from our viewers as well. People are excited about it. I wish there was a way where you could like charge triple and like if they need 100, but I like your point about it that you're just doing it where you're guaranteed to make it to another station if you need to.
And look, the longer term solution here is that we are building larger sites. We have to have more dispensers at these locations, but the demand is very different today than it was 8 years ago when we developed some of those sites. You know, there are, and I was very much responsible for these decisions early on, locations where we have 3 dispensers because we wanted to be in that area. There was no other charging at the time. But today, a 3 dispenser site is a really big problem for our customers. And so building bigger is truly the opportunity that we have to solve for the congestion in the longer term.
Okay, so some good, exciting stuff coming. Is there anything you want to leave our viewers with? Final thoughts on, you know, sort of what EA's been working on, what the trajectory has been from the driver side. From my big thing is just the reliability has skyrocketed. I mean, we just set the New York to LA record using your network exclusively. So that, well, thanks to you guys. And so we got, you know, over 300 kilowatts at every station except for one because we were power shared, but that's okay.
That's okay.
And you know, everything worked great for us. So that was just a big difference from a few years ago.
This is our focus, and being able to continue to upgrade the network, the hardware, as you've noted, really drives that customer experience. But our focus is very narrow today on making sure that all consumers are having the best possible experience. That includes our ongoing testing with the automotive manufacturers, our relationships with them, making sure that our understanding of the vehicle's nuances is in par with theirs on our network. And so you're going to continue to see that focus on customer experience and really testing and listening to the consumers, I think is so important as we continue to grow and scale. Where we invest, how we do it, hopefully it is only, you know, positive experiences from here on out.
Well, amazing. Love to hear it from our side. I know the EV drivers watching this are pumped as well. And, you know, you guys really made it possible for so many EVs to go on the roads. It wasn't a great first few years, but things are much better now.
We appreciate you and we appreciate what you do. And
thanks.
Maybe when we're offline, I'm going to ask you a question about a car. I want your opinion.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for joining on this one.
Thank you
appreciate
so much.
it.
We
And
appreciate
we're
you.
off to the next one. Well, guys, nice to see Electrify America. Rachel's great. She's been there for a while. And All good sentiment from my side. Oh, should we say hey to our friend Rob? What's up, Rob? Say something to the viewers.
Hey, out of spec viewers.
What are you working on these days?
We're working on a truck charging hub in Fontana, so the Inland Empire of California.
Really?
Yeah.
Can we film the construction?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Starting in August this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many, any
I can't actually unveil details on this one.
Okay.
So we're
big, small?
very big.
Oh, nice. Knowing you, it's
tens of megawatts.
Oh, holy smokes. Okay. Well, you always got the cool stuff going on. All right. Well, we'll see you around.
All right, brother. Great seeing you.
See you, Rob.
Yeah.
Same here. Okay. Rob's an OG in the charging business, longtime friend of mine, great dude. And yeah, you just meet cool people making YouTube videos, which is always nice. Speaking of, look who it is, Dan Larson. Dan, can we walk over to the Autel booth with you?
Yes.
All right, how far away are we? Are we close?
We're kind of far away.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just run then.
All right.
let me clip this to your thing.
All right.
So, you guys will know Dan from the I-90 Surge.
Yes.
And also because we have a bunch of Autel charging products, thanks to this guy.
Yep.
And you also have a RAV4 EV.
I do. Yes.
So that's everything everyone needs to know about you.
My RAV4 EV is the bane of my existence, but you know, it's getting there.
Okay, so what's going on at Autel? I know we're hammering over there, but you've got a new all-in-one, you've got a new split system.
Yep.
And you've got new AC chargers.
Yes.
So what isn't new?
Well, I mean, we have our existing product lineup that we've had, you know, for a handful of years, and they're honestly still bulletproof, great solutions for the market. But
yeah, bulletproof is a good way to describe it. They all just kind of freaking work, don't they?
yeah, but you know, there's just evolving protocols all the time within this industry. So anytime that something new is released, then we, you know, our R&D team starts preparing for it, and we bring those products to market that the market actually needs. So
there's also a new lab in Anaheim here.
Yes.
So I think we're going to do a video, maybe not this trip, but we're going to go over and film that with you at some point soon.
Yeah. Otherwise tonight we got a cocktail party there.
Party tonight, yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to bring some Chinese EVs over there and charge them.
Yeah. Let's do that for sure.
It'd be freaking awesome. So okay, let's pause this because I didn't know how far away we have made it to Autel.
Yes. You go here.
End clip. Okay, why'd you bring this thing? This is kind of cool.
Yes. Yes. So this is just this is version 1 of our new testing chamber demo. The company literally got it put together for us like last night.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, but you know, it's kind of showcasing what we do as far as the environmental testing. So, you know, we shoot our stuff with pressure washers. We test in, you know, dry climates, you know, sandy climates, snow, rain, everything, because, you know, we have chargers deployed all the way up in northern Canada, all the way in, you know, Texas heat. And we want to make sure that all of our stuff is fully reliable and going to operate in all those conditions.
I also help with this by strapping them to diesel generators.
Yes, yes.
And driving over bumps.
Yes, yes.
Held up great, by the way. Might need to screw some stuff in if we do it for a really long time, but so far, so
yeah, that
good.
thing's still running.
Oh, it still rips.
Yeah.
Use it all the time. It's
Awesome.
Okay, so you do environmental testing, but let's show some big boy chargers. So
Yes.
this is the new all-in-one cable management.
Yes.
Which is like super cool. Can't imagine where you got this design from, but we'll blow past that.
Well, we actually have 2 different solutions for the CMS on this because, you know, this is really awesome for fleets and that type of thing, but for like a public charging scenario,
Takes up a lot of space.
Takes up a lot of space, and then there's also a little bit of concern about people walking by, bumping their head, that type of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So we also have the swing arm style as an option for this too. So it just depends on what's most applicable for the location.
And so is this a 480?
Yes.
And it's about the size of the 200 that I have.
Yep. Yeah, slightly taller. But yeah, we're using 40 kilowatt power modules on these. We have our own DC matrixing setup that we incorporated into these so we can redistribute power in 40 kilowatt increments to either side.
So that's pretty good.
And
So that's pretty good power granularity. And keep in mind, pretty much the leading of what we're seeing out there is 400 kilowatt all-in-one, and
Yes.
you're 80 kilowatts higher. So that's good.
Yep. 80 kilowatts higher, better price point.
Okay, love to hear that.
And then we also have, so this is obviously the dual port, but we're going to offer this as a 4-port variant. With,
oh, really?
Imagine the same screen here.
Yeah.
With 2 ports on the backside as well, and that's going to be really ideal for places where real estate's really expensive. You want an all-in-one solution to serve 4 parking spaces.
So that could be kind of cool.
Coastal regions, public charging, but even fleets and that type of thing. There's going to be a lot of applications for it. So
okay, well, I'm pretty excited about this, and you can configure NAC, CCS, however you want on any port, of course.
Yep.
And I think the biggest reason to go Autel, from my impression, is like the back-end software, the integration with the QR code, your own app. And of course, the commissioning process is so easy. I mean, I can commission it, which I can't do much, but I can do that.
Yeah, we don't charge the extortion fees that many others do. So you buy our hardware, we support you fully from day one as far as getting it up and going, and we don't make you jump through a bunch of hoops to get them activated and operational. And then, the service standpoint as well, we're really trying to differentiate ourselves from the others in the space. We have an awesome service team. And, we can remotely go in, log into each charger. About 95% of the components we can remotely diagnose. So that way, if anything ever does happen, even if it's something upstream from the charger, like there's a ground fault setting, and maybe it's, the electrician's got to come back to the site, we can actually view ground voltage remotely. So if we're showing like 40 volts on the ground side and the charger, hey, we got to pour ground to the charger. So. All that stuff. Even on this, we have temperature sensors on the DC bus. So even, if let's say there was an installation error, typically, if there's a point of resistance, the heat's going up. So that way, if the installer maybe didn't torque something correctly,
you can spot it.
Then we can see that remotely, and then, help notify that, hey, we got to get somebody back to the site, and we've got an issue with where everything's attaching inside of the charger.
Well, I've been a huge fan. I can just say from experience, I beat the crap out of mine, and it's fine. So, and this is basically that just scaled up, essentially.
Yep.
So, yeah, pretty freaking cool. What else you got around here? You've got your split system, which we've shown in other videos briefly, but you don't have the cabinet here for it, right?
No, the cabinet takes up too much real estate here at the show. But so yes, this would be with our 640 kilowatt power cabinet. Typical configuration would be 2 dispensers. With 1 power cabinet, you can do 4 ports at 160 kilowatts at the same time.
Well, not that it matters so much anymore, but all NEVI compliant.
Yep.
Yeah, and everything you can get built in North Carolina, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. The DC products we can do U.S. made, and then with this you can actually do up to 4 dispensers. So with some fleets, they want like 8 ports at 80 kilowatts, and you can do that with 1 640 cabinet.
Okay, and then we've also got the best charger in the world, which is the little 40 kilowatt on wheels.
Yes, we do.
So I just love that thing so much. It's so cool. And then from AC side of stuff, I mean, this is what every business should install, in my impression. It is the best level 2 commercial EVSE, dual 80 amp output if you wanted it to.
Yep.
We don't even need Dan here. I can give the presentation. No, but this thing rocks. And we're putting one in at the powerhouse. It goes in like next week, actually.
Perfect.
I've been hearing that for the last year, but I'm told again next week.
What about that DC fast?
Oh God,
that next week too.
No, that's gonna be a while.
It's all good. Yeah, I mean it's really flexible as far as workplace charging, fleets, even school buses, that type of thing. So dual ports can do dual 19.2 kilowatts. If there's maybe panel limitations and you can only do a single power feed, you do 1 80 amp feed in, and then it's going to power share.
That's how ours is going to be set up.
Yeah, and you can wall mount the CMS, and then just a charger body mounts to that. You can go just charger body to the wall. A lot of configurable options with or without credit card reader. So really versatile with that. And then this is the new AC Pro.
I don't think we've shown this yet.
Yeah, I don't recall if we did at the last show, but so this is our new single port 19.2 kilowatt.
You can run over there and take a look at that. Yeah.
So with this one, it has a lot of the protocols that did not exist on our previous AC Elite model. So ISO 15118, OCPP 2.0, standard 5-year warranty. So we're the first AC charger in the market with a standard 5-year warranty.
Okay, that's good.
And then also the really cool thing about this is like the installation. So the backplate mounts first.
That's right.
Supports top entry, rear, or bottom
you've got
entry.
The ports that basically you can block out if they're not in use.
Yep.
That's cool. So Tesla wall connectors used to kind of be like that.
Yep.
Where you could pull in. So that's cool.
Yep. And then you mount the backplate first, and then there's an NFC chip on there. And so let's say you're putting 10 of these in on a parking ramp. You can send the installer a configuration file on their phone app. Then they just tap their phone to the NFC chip. That transfers the configuration for the charger. And then you basically, once that's to the NFC chip, then the charger body just slides in, 2 screws on the top, 2 on the bottom. Now it's powered on, and you don't have to teach the installer how to set anything up on the screen.
Different settings. It's just you guys do
Yeah,
it.
it's literally just already configured to the charger.
Yeah.
And then that way too, if let's say the charger gets damaged or has a problem at some point down the road, it does not need to be a certified electrician to swap out the charger body. It's literally just those 4 screws, slide the old one out, slide the new one in. The configuration is always saved on the NFC chip. So
love it. So cool.
Yeah.
You should actually send Tom Malogny one of those for a video. I think it would maybe break his calculator. It'd be pretty cool.
I agree.
So, okay. Always good to see you, Dan. Glad that you guys have a 0 SRS here. That's awesome. Stealing your mic back from you.
I wish it was mine.
Yeah. I mean, I could see you ripping that thing. I mean, who else is going to ride? Just take it. If it's just a display one. All right. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Okay, Scott.
Hey.
We
How's
have
it going?
totally messed up the flow.
I know. Should we?
That's just we ran into Dan.
Should we just drop in to our friends right there?
We will. And there's also a Tesla Semi and ABB and Rivian. So like this is also a kind of cool section.
Yeah.
Can we show this, which is the Rivian van? What's up, dude? Great to see this is the Rivian Commercial van, the RCV, or EDV, Electric Delivery Van is the Amazon one, or RSV, Rivian Service Van if you kit it out for the service experience. Big news, they've just doubled the charging performance on this from a whopping 50 kilowatts to 100 kilowatts. Still way too slow. If the little Ram ProMaster can do 150 kilowatts, Rivian, come on, this thing's got to charge faster. In actuality, it doesn't really matter for fleets. They charge overnight. It's all fine. But I would love to turn one into a camper. And what I really think they should do is just offer the quad motor, 1,000 horsepower, big boy drivetrain and put that in this particular one, which would be sick. We have a full video review of this van already on the channel. And if you pop inside, we can go take a look and show you. So this is the inside of the Rivian Commercial van. And I've done a few miles in this thing. Dan was getting a picture of us in here. Love that. And we've done a range test. We've done a charging test. And Rivian is here promoting their fleet applications. So they'll now sell you one or 50 or 100 or however much. Sweet. They also have a kitted out R1T over here with some aftermarket accessories. That's pretty cool. So they have the Lear bed cap, which is sort of in prototype phase, but does make the R1T pretty usable, pretty nice. Absolutely loving that. And they also have a cool interior situation with a new sort of aftermarket center console with a laptop mount, totally configurable and customizable. But again, this is just a normal standard R1T. They're just showing some of the upfit capabilities that you can have with a Rivian. And kind of cool, they got this bull bar on the front from Gamber Johnson. I know that because it says it here. Not that I remembered it. And I just think, okay, mounting's interesting. It kind of goes into the tow hook area down this way. Seems fine. Scott, any impressions?
The impressions?
Impressions on the Rivian R1T kitted out?
I think it's pretty sweet. I like the versatility of it all.
Okay, thank you for the insight. Let's continue. Her face. Let's go over and see our buddies at Alpitronic. We love Alpitronic. We've got like really the heavy hitters of charging companies are who are going to survive in this business. And you're seeing the Kempowers, the Autels, of course, ABB and Alpitronic. Those are the real big hot shots in our market, I think. And here we have their new HYC 1000 dispenser. This is the cabinet. So they've basically, Alpitronic has always had an all-in-one situation. Now they have going to a split situation. So they have a bunch of silicon carbide stacks in here that can feed, basically these pretty tiny dispensers. Can we put you on camera?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I don't need to explain this anymore. We've got the man himself, Brandon Flash. Shout out.
Hello.
Everyone watching this video knows you already, so no introduction.
Hello, out of spec.
Why don't you show us around?
Yeah, so we're here at ACT 2025. We have our new HYC 1000 on display. We have the EV dispenser here, so 500 kilowatts. And I know the out-of-spec audience is going to ask what vehicles can support that. Currently none, but the technology is there. They can do 600 amp simultaneous on both connectors. So in theory, you could actually have a megawatt coming out of this one dispenser with the megawatt cabinet. Then over here, we have the big boy. the truck dispenser.
We still should say not that big.
No, well, the big boy in power, the little boy in size.
Yeah, we'll show the viewers next.
Yes.
A similar thing, much bigger.
And here we have 1500 amp MCS. So this is for the trucks and all the big things.
We love it. Also, no vehicles really have that yet, but coming.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also have CCS with the very light, flexible cables. So that way, if you have a heavy-duty truck that has CCS instead of MCS, or we're also seeing some use cases where you may have an MCS truck and then may have a CCS trailer or some sort of auxiliary type thing that would be charged on CCS rather than MCS. You can also spec NACS if applicable. As always, the system's very modular and can be configured for customer needs.
Yeah, this is just the best way to add a secondary cable. It's simple, it just works, it's super cool, so I'm very pleased to see this type of thing here.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about this split system. We're gonna get to the HIC 200 and HIC 400.
Yes.
But what is this called, the HIC 1000?
Yeah, the HYC 1000 is kind of the overarching name for the system. We have a kind of a demo reel playing here. I don't know if you guys want to put it to B-roll.
A6 e-tron wagon.
Yes.
Cool.
But basically, we took, for all intents and purposes, two HYC 400s and then put them next to each other to have 8 of our power stacks, but actually with our Generation 2 silicon carbide power stack. So that way you have 1 megawatt. Each power stack, 125 kilowatt or 62.5 kilowatt per power unit. So there's 2 power units within each power stack. You can depopulate it depending on the use case, or you can have the full 1 megawatt, and in the future, maybe even more.
And the size footprint of that is not very big. We don't have it here to show you. But we just showed our viewers, for example, a 750 kilowatt cabinet that was the size of a truck. And
yes, probably the size of this whole pad area.
Yeah. So yours is not going to be that big.
No, it's pretty tall, but the footprint is very small. Here we have dimensions that we'll show in just a moment, I believe. But it's basically, about 5 feet by 4 feet, roughly, and pretty tall.
And it's got to be dead silent because the 400 kilowatt units are dead silent.
Yeah, the vehicles charging on it will almost certainly be louder than the fans on the unit itself.
All right, so no beating around the bush. We know Alpi kind of just makes the coolest stuff.
There's a reason I joined.
Yeah, exactly. If you're there. Okay, but also cable management's new. You got some cool lighting and stuff.
Yeah.
So show us how this all works.
Yeah, so it's the same cable management that everyone knows and loves and that the whole industry has adopted, but improved. So there's a new banana clamp there, as you can see, that holds the cable a bit better bending radius and just kind of smoother operation. It's also built into the dispenser itself rather than bolted on top, like on the 200 and 400 products. And then here we have ambient lighting to kind of light up the area around the site. And then this will be a status light to show state of charge, reservations if applicable, depending on the use case. So, for example, some of our customers are using the reservation function on heavy-duty truck sites to then reserve that lane so the fleet manager or the driver or whatever can reserve that spot. So when that truck arrives, they know they'll have a lane to pull in, because if you're driving a heavy-duty truck with a trailer, you need to charge. You can't just leave and go to another site and have that option.
Also, screen's been updated and changed. First of all, I just have to compliment you on the front-facing screen.
It's been a common request from our customers, and we have obliged. We have the buttons that everyone knows and loves, but it's also a touch screen. Start.
There we go.
And then this is just on demo software, so you don't actually plug in.
Because I went to go make fun of you guys yesterday for it not being a touchscreen, and then it actually responded, and I was like, oh, crap.
Yes.
You have made it to 2012. Here we go.
And then it shows the charge curve as always, all the
cool
fun stuff.
You show amps, volts, curves.
It's awesome.
The best. It's just
it's made for nerds by nerds, but also easy to use for the everyday person. So you go into the charging details screen, you have all the nerdy info, but for most people, they just have energy, charge time, time remaining, and then state of charge and power. Those are the basics.
So that's all the new stuff. Pretty exciting. Incredibly compact compared to, the viewers will see for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I've walked around and most things are much larger.
Yeah, like more than double. Then you've also got the existing product line.
Yes.
So 50, 200, and 400. Let's start at the 50. Because this is a product that I've only seen in Europe so far. I haven't seen in the US, but it is coming to the US.
Yes, we're launching the 50 in 2026. We're not launching in scale this year in the North American market, making some improvements on it, making it a little bit easier to install in the US market, and wanted to do that before we launch that scale, but we are doing some pilot programs. You may see some around.
Okay, nice. But it's just, I think, the most beautiful 50 kilowatt wall
It's
mount.
just
It's
lovely.
awesome. Yeah.
And it can be on a pedestal too, so super compact, 25 or 50 kilowatt charging.
Yeah, just
I
amazing.
think most level 2 installs that you see in the field today actually should be something like this.
Low power DC is where it's at.
Yes.
Yeah, for malls, for any sort of 1 to 2 hour
Grocery store, like department store kind of thing. If you're there for half an hour to an hour, this makes a lot more sense than your normal 30 amp, 208 volt level 2. That's really not that useful.
Oh gosh, we don't need, we all know that experience.
Yes.
Then you've got a 200 kilowatt Alpi, which is the same thing as the 400, just
basically, yes.
Yeah.
It's basically, instead of having 4 power stacks for 400 kilowatts, you have 2 power stacks for 200 kilowatts.
And also the same silicon carbide, super efficient. That's all relatively new, and that came with the US launch, more or less.
Yeah,
a little earlier.
We announced it in Europe ahead of it, but it was pretty, it was decided to launch in the US with that latest generation of product with the silicon carbide stack, or SiC stack, as we like to say.
It's sick. And then this is what you're going to see everywhere. This is what.
Yeah, I mean, these are rolling out at scale across North America at an unbelievable pace with all the major customers. You can list them off.
EA, Ionna, BP.
Yeah.
List goes
Mercedes.
on. Yeah, that's right. Mercedes has gone full send with these. And we have a couple coming to Colorado, which will be great with Mercedes. But we need more in the Midwest. So more CPOs buy these things.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to be everywhere across the U.S. You can already go around the entire Texas Triangle. So DFW, San Antonio, Houston, entirely on hyperchargers. That's the scale that they're being deployed at already.
It's so fast.
And we just started shipping them in volume late last year, and we're only in end of April 2025.
It's crazy.
So, I mean, our customers have just been deploying at scale that I don't think anyone has seen before outside of Tesla.
No, I certainly have not. And I'm excited because these things work. In Europe, this is the charger. They're on every corner in Europe. And it works. And they've always worked.
Yeah.
They're going to work here. And they have been.
Yeah. And I mean, we have some stats on the wall there. I don't know if you already showed it, but we actually have more ports deployed than Tesla. And we don't have any chargers in China.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, as always, big shout out to you guys for just kind of killing it. Yeah. There's no way around
It's been a long time coming. We're hiring and assembling the dream team, and I think that's a big part of the success that we have, is that we have a really good team here.
Yeah,
both in the
North
US
Carolina
and in Europe.
company. Yeah. So many. What is up with North Carolina and all the charging companies?
You can actually get things done in the Carolinas or in the Southeast, unlike California.
Love it. Love to hear it. Well, thanks as always.
Yeah,
Appreciate
of course.
it.
Thanks for stopping by.
And I'll steal your mic back from you.
There you go.
And more to come, because we've got our charger coming very soon.
Yes.
Do you want to say anything about that?
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Okay, appreciate it. Thanks for the charger. See you guys later. We're not leaving Alpi because we ran into our buddy Mike, who's the CEO of Alpi over here in the US, or North America, or US?
We call it Americas, so yeah.
All the Americas.
All of the Americas.
Fancy job title.
Thank you.
But you work nonstop. So, all right, so Brandon just walked us around the entire booth. We saw all the products. Business side of things.
Yep.
How's the company doing? How are things in Charlotte? What's the team look like? Are you hiring? People want to know.
Yeah, we are definitely hiring. So we started up the operations at the end of 2023. 2024, we spent most of the time working on commercial deals with our customers, a lot of customers that you've actually gone out and visited.
Yep.
And now the focus in 25 is really on scaling the operations. So we've actually invested very early in terms of our capacity, both from a manufacturing point of view and also from our office point of view. So we actually have a lot of office space. You've been to our offices. Yep. We actually have a lot of manufacturing capacity that we're not yet using.
Nice.
Because we know that if we follow the same growth curve that happened in Europe, it's going to be like a hockey stick. And we wanted to really work out the bugs and prepare for the future now, so that when that future state comes and we're delivering tens of thousands of units, we're ready for that. We can focus on that. So yes, we're hiring. We're still hiring. We still have a lot of open desks in the office.
Good.
So yeah, absolutely. Things are off to a great start.
I mean, your office space in Charlotte is just like beautiful. It's insane. So that's a pretty good place to work.
You know, that's part of the Italian flair, right? We talk about German precision, Italian flair, American muscle. So the Italian flair comes through not only in the design, but also in the office itself.
Yeah, the office is really nice. I've been to a lot of charging company offices. You got the nicest one, at least here.
Thank you.
So for here at ACT, which is kind of an interesting event for me because I don't really cover fleets that closely. This is probably what they're interested in. some big boy heavy duty truck charging.
Yeah, it is. I mean, really, with the new HYC 1000, we're bringing kind of three things to the market. One is the distributed architecture. Of course, we started off with the HYC 400, which is the all-in-one. So now we're bringing, it's not an or, it's an and. We're bringing, in addition to all-in-one, distributed. So that's the first point. The second one is the MCS connector. Probably you went by and saw that.
Yeah, we saw that. Yep.
And the third one is we took the opportunity to add some features and make some changes that our customers have given us. So, for example, putting the screens in the front.
Yeah, big one.
This has been a big one. You see the status lights commensurate with the holster lights, ambient lighting on the outside. So we're really bringing some new features as well that have been requested from our customers for some time. Now, we still are carrying over that same good reliability and efficiency, because the power unit, the power modules, and the cabinet there are going to come from the same silicon carbide that we've been developing on the 400. We're just extending those to the 1000.
Love to see it. Always a good opportunity to get you on YouTube. You know, probably the coolest charging company to work for.
That's very kind, Kyle. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we're always trying to get our viewers to the right places. So thank you, as always.
Yeah, great to see you.
You're
Thanks
no
for stopping
stranger to
by.
Out of Spec. You'll be on a bunch of videos.
All right. Thanks, Kyle. Take care.
Now we're leaving Albitronics. Sorry, that took a
You
while.
can stay. You can stay. You don't have to leave.
The only man crazy enough to bring a Tesla semi to an event is Victor.
Hey.
We've had you in videos many times over the years, so our audience should know you. How the hell did this, how'd you bring this?
Okay, so there is a bay door that we basically drew. Okay, no, let's rewind. So YDV is huge in the logistics market, and we have nearly every vehicle on the market. Nikola's, BYDs, the Volvo Freightliners, you name them. And we're like, listen, Tesla, you're the only one that's missing over here. And so we made a press release a couple weeks ago, but we've been talking for a while, like, hey, give us a couple Tesla semis. Whatever we need to do, we'll make it happen. You guys got 750 kilowatts charging. Guess what? We got megawatt chargers deployed.
Yeah, you got big boy stuff.
Let's get it done. So like, you know what? Fine. You got us. And that's how we got, this is one of two that we have in our fleet currently.
Can I drive it one day, or can we ride in it?
Maybe off the camera we'll have you.
I just want to do a massive burnout right here in it.
Yeah, and
I'm sure it will.
It's really, it's speedy. You know what's the wildest thing? So I've driven most of the trucks in a parking lot. I don't have a CDL, and you forget, number one, that you're sitting in the middle. That's number one.
That's cool.
Yeah, and number two, with the screens on the side, you feel like you're driving a typical Tesla.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You forget you're in a truck, that you can haul 80,000 pounds in this thing, because it really does pick up pretty fast.
So how different is it from your e-tron?
Okay, so the e-tron doesn't pick up. I think this goes faster than my e-tron, to be honest. And then when it comes to range, my God. And so I drove from Phoenix, and we're here in Anaheim, Los Angeles. And I think I had to charge 4 times. I could have brought this to the show, charged, and still make it back home, and still beat the time compared to the e-tron.
Amazing.
And so, the batteries in here, they just get farther. Obviously, actually, I watched your video find out about the announcement on the Tesla. They're going MCS plug.
That's right.
Which opens
Official
it up to
announcement.
everybody.
Love it.
And then we also we're part of the public network for Tesla superchargers for the semi. So, yeah.
Brother,
Makes
that's
sense
awesome.
for us to get this.
Okay, so love this. Tell us about Watt EV in general. So maybe we can show down the side, because it's got the cool logo and all the stuff down here. And yeah, you guys, so I've been to one of your charging hubs in Long Beach. And welcome to the show. And dude, you guys are just killing it.
Okay, so we have, if I am not mistaken, currently 5 sites that are open. We have nearly, we're working on close to 25 sites that are under construction. Goal is to have 50, if not by the end of this year, maybe early next year. And our sites are designed to be the largest medium heavy duty sites. My favorite site to talk about is the Bakersfield site. Because it's the first MCS deployment in the country. And what's wild about it is we didn't deploy 1 MCS, we deployed 3 MCS. What's even more wild on top of that, it's not connected to the grid.
I know, it's all solar powered.
Yeah, so the site's designed, it's 110 acres-ish, and it's designed for 25 megawatts of solar. Currently, we have 5 megawatts of solar.
Yeah, just 5 megawatts of solar.
Yeah, that's not nothing for me.
Victor likes big power.
I remind everybody, if you Google megawatt charging and you hit the video button,
it's us.
We're still the #1 video. Forget all the noise that everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
We deliver more power. Our video delivers more power than anybody else.
Yeah, well, we couldn't even find a vehicle to charge. We had to charge water. we basically just boiled giant tanks of water.
1,000 gallons of water we boiled in 10 minutes. It's insane.
It's amazing.
It's really wild. And so now I don't have to deal with water anymore. I have trucks I can play with.
Yeah,
so
love
it's
it.
changed a lot since then.
So what's the charging curve on this thing? Can you say?
I would love to show you. I can't.
Okay.
Maybe another
Is it
time.
better than Cybertruck?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great.
And so actually, I feel like the Cybertruck was like a learning curve curve, no pun intended there. And for them to understand the performance of the battery pack, because really technology is not different. Cybertruck, just bigger battery. And I'm actually really eager to see what the other OEMs are going to do to compete against what Tesla's doing in terms of their products. Obviously, you have other Windroses here. Daimler's got a truck and whatnot. And what's really interesting is they're all very different. I'll tell you one thing. If you do drive trucks, this is extremely different. Companies like Volvo and all these other companies, it feels like you're in a normal truck with the buttons on there and the radio dials and whatnot. But you go in there with the screen, it's different.
It's like a Model 3, just big.
I feel like it is a Model 3, but bigger.
Okay.
But it's more like a Plaid. I feel like
I mean, sign me up for that.
this thing spins.
That's awesome. Okay, so you guys are building just, I think the best way to boil it down. Massive ass charging sites. But grid connected for most, right?
Yeah, most of them
just the Bakersfield that's not.
Yeah, currently Bakersfield, Sacramento is going to be a hybrid, so that's going to be 100 stalls at 300 kilowatts. It's going to be one of America's largest sites. Also going to have solar on site connected to utility by the airport over there. And we're keeping up with the latest technology. So obviously MCS is a standard that's still evolving, and we keep up with it. That's me. That's what I do. I nerd out, nerd level 1000. You call it. And so Watt EV is the largest electric freight logistics company. We're the largest charging as a service company, and we do trucking as a service. So essentially, if you just want to get in the business of logistics and you want to dip your feet into electrifying, that's what we do.
Get a truck from you, go to the charging hub for you, and charge it real fast.
And I would love for you to come over to our Bakersfield site or one of our sites.
We have to.
And we spend you and I race. We take the Nikola and we take the Tesla. And we just race each other because I got to tell you, Nikola packs a punch too. And we have the largest.
I don't know if you have enough of a downhill for the Nikola, though.
We don't need that. That problem's long gone.
Okay, well, they got other problems now. But all good, dude.
I have confidence.
Okay,
in the market, it's growing.
Market sounds pretty strong. I mean, even just coming to this show.
I feel like I'm 10 feet away from you. I just want people to see the truck.
Yeah, of course.
It's always great to see you.
Thanks for everything, as always.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for bringing this. And shout out to your company, Watt EV. I mean, and your colleagues and everything. The whole company's sick. And I should come and we should do more stuff together.
Absolutely. And I thank you for coming here. I mean, obviously, you're a leader in the space, and everybody looks to your videos to know what's coming next.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. So always good to get Victor on the channel. We'll do more together.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
Ford is here at the show, which is awesome to see. So we're big Ford fans. We review their cars all the time, so we're not going to spend too much time here. But you've got the E-Transit, which has some updates for 2025, which is pretty cool. I mean, not visually, just some technical updates. And overall, just cool electric van. We love electric vans. E-Transit's awesome. We've done many videos on this. Best handling van on the market. If you're into performance, this is the one you want. F-150 Lightning with a bunch of upfit capability. The nice thing about the F-150 Lightning is very good price. The next nice thing is it's just a normal F-150 that's electric. So all of the upfit stuff that you can put on any normal truck, you can get in your Lightning. So these are very popular. No explanation needed. You can take a look on the inside. This is the base Pro truck, and it's still super nice. I mean, you just don't need any more. And kind of thinking I should get a Lightning at some point. I'm kind of into them. All my friends are getting Lightnings, and well, I'm a big Lightning fan. This is Bollinger Motors, and so I believe they were working with Roush to build these things. And I'm not sure of the latest status update. Would be interesting to do a video with them at some point. So if anyone from Bollinger is watching this, I want to come out and drive one. But essentially, you know, chassis cab situation. They started and unveiled these really cool, like pickup truck and SUV, like super hardy work truck things. That never happened, or at least hasn't happened. They transitioned to the fleet segment, I think, to try and save the company. And I don't know what the status is, but I've always been fascinated with them. They've had some cool projects, and yeah, definitely worth playing around with it. So, we already went, we're going to go to ABB at the end. I think that's how we're going to end the show, because we're trying to set up a cool interview for you guys. We have CK or CX, Chargetronics. Not familiar, to be honest with you. And, you know, maybe I should be, but I've seen them at a couple shows in the past, but just, you know, essentially in the charging space, if you look over here at these chargers, I mean, you just get boxes with power modules in them. And it's really hard to differentiate yourself between the, you know, who's a big player and who's going to, you know, not be a player for long. I'm not totally sure. And I guess time will answer that question for a lot of companies like that right there. And then you've got cool projects and interesting things like this. You've got a lot of mobile charging on trailers, which to me is one of the most exciting and most important things that we need. And so this is a turbine powered situation, not 100% sure, but that's kind of cool. Back to electric trucks and SUVs and fleet applications. Mullen is here, as they're here every year, and everywhere every year, really. And so they're, of course, producing and selling their electric vehicles. They also bought Coda, and they have like the world's supply of Coda parts, which I almost bought from them, but I realized there was nothing super valuable in there, so we passed on the deal, both myself and my buddy Robert from the Aging Wheels YouTube channel. But we actually went over to Mullen's offices and played around with those things, and I don't know, I didn't have the most confidence that they could build something great. Okay, we're going to get to Echo in a second, but we got big trucks here. So let's take a look. We've got Peterbilt, and I don't know if they have anything battery electric around here. So we've got a dump truck situation with a lot of batteries. Take a look at all those. Holy smokes. And yeah, this is a full battery electric. I know that because I'm looking at a Windows startup screen. I know that because it says Model 567 EV. It's the extent of my knowledge on this one. This is also an electric one, and I don't see anyone around to tell us about these things, but it would be kind of cool. So maybe we can find someone. Question for you. Sorry, not to put you on the spot. How many kilowatt hours do the trucks have? Do you know?
With the camera on me, I'm not sure what to say.
Okay, that's fine. We didn't want to say anything on camera because I just don't think he knew much about it. But they're over 700 kilowatt hours maxed out. So that's juicy. And that's what these are. And you've got your CCS charging port right there. Man, it would take a while to charge these things. I don't even think there's no way this even has a level 2 charging station in it, but they fixed the screen. And Pete 567 EV, love to see it. Definitely want to drive one. Peterbilt, if anyone's watching, please let me drive one. Across the hall, we've got Kenworth. They've got the T880. I am guessing this is another battery electric situation, probably with a similar drivetrain, one could imagine. And I would guess it's in this similar category. Look at these. These are all the battery stacks right here. You've got some cooling systems as well. Looks nice. Very standard, sort of heavy-duty truck. This one's charged to 100%. I can see that on the screen inside. And here you have a layout of their electric and combustion powertrains, which is always cool. I love trucks. Wish I knew more about these. They've got CNG-powered situations over here as well. And what more should I say? Well, there's not that many knowledgeable people here about these trucks, are there, Scott?
No, there's not.
So it's hard for me to know much about them. But there you go. I'll hand this to you. What are you saying? So the viewers.
So maybe we can peek in with our friend at Revolt, Gus.
Ah, where's that? Down here?
It's down yonder.
Okay. Yeah, that's a cool situation. Is it?
I think
here?
it's over.
Okay, we'll make our way over there. Let's just blast through here. We can show everyone more truck stuff. So in the refrigerated trucking space, for example, you need reefer trailers that typically run off diesel or propane engines. And so here, this is the E-Cool by Carrier. And so this is for an electric powered trailer. You need electric reefers. Now the Tesla Semi we just learned will have a 25 kilowatt power takeoff essentially, so that you don't need to actually put the batteries in the trailer. You could just power it directly from the tractor, which is pretty cool. Anything else back over here that'd be cool? Yeah, definitely. But we've got to get moving.
We got to keep moving.
We got to go. Autonomous trucking, we're still ways away from that, from everything I can tell.
School bus.
School bus. Yeah, International school buses, bunch of other companies. We've filmed them on this channel in the past, and man, I just don't know why you would burn diesel to bring kids to school every day. Just get an electric school bus, use them for V to G, and you're good to go. So yeah, this is the Workhorse electric truck. We've heard about it for years. I don't think there's much new, but we've shown that in other videos in the past. But Workhorse is a company that's been around for a while. Another ice cream cooled by the sun.
Solar reefer.
Solar reefer, nice. And we've got some ride and drives happening outside, which is always super cool. So there's a bunch of medium and heavy duty, including Tesla Semi, my favorite thing on the planet out there. Why do I love that thing so much? It's just so cool.
The buzzword
You got
of
to sit in
today.
it,
I did.
allegedly. Thanks, Victor. We never said that. If we weren't supposed to sit in it, we didn't sit in it.
I didn't send anything.
Doesn't have route planning yet, but there's no charging stations for it at the moment. Check these things out. Indigo. They have one outside for ride and drives, Massachusetts-based company, single racing position. This is basically a McLaren F1 with a single centrally mounted seat, and then these two back here. It's kind of cool. I don't know much about it. It doesn't really feel production-y, but would be interesting to learn more about that one day. Maybe today's not the day, because this looks very concept car-like, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay. But this is the one they're doing ride and drives on.
The little loop.
Yeah.
Go loop.
They have smart wheels. Anyway, I don't know. Let's wait till they go on sale, and then we can film them later on. Okay, we've got electric street sweepers. We've got an electric sort of rollback, this is kind of what we need.
Yeah.
Would be kind of sick, actually. I wonder how much energy it takes to run the brushes. Probably not too much. We've got more mobile power solutions. Curious what this runs on. So that's been a big push at this show, is recharging vehicles out in in the field or whatever. So bringing power where you need to go. So it's got a little generator in there. That's how it's just running on combustible fuels. Where is the cool Revolt situation?
No, it's in a corner.
We've shown this many times on the channel, the Lincoln Electric Velion, still don't know how to say it. We've got one of these in Fort Collins as a testing unit for 2 cents per kilowatt hour off Harmony. If you're ever in Fort Collins, there's the cheapest DC charger in Colorado. It's awesome. They're really cool. We've done many spotlight videos on that, which is kind of why I'm skipping through it. You can see this Bright Drop van is kitted out as a Cadillac mobile service vehicle. That's kind of sick, actually. So you've got a bunch of cool stuff going on in there. Tire changing, whatever else you need. Love that. Love to see it. And we've got some big electric forklifts. That's pretty sick.
Very big.
Love to see it. We've got Kempower units on display. Scott, I'm really trying to figure out where this Revolt is.
I think it's right down yonder.
Okay, well, we'll get over there. Can we show some stuff over this way real quick? I just saw Green Lane. I know they're doing a bunch of stuff in terms of charging depots. We've seen that's a huge focus this show. A bunch of Watt EV and what was the Z one we just spoke to earlier? Zeem and Green Lane. They're all building these massive fleet charging hubs. So it's like, can you get the grid connections? Can you offer it charging as a service? Do you sell the station once you build it? And it's pretty interesting. So Green Lane's putting in this massive, super nice charging hub is what I'm hearing somewhere in California. I think it opened last week, or it's opening next week. It's somewhere around there. But I know we have to go over. I'm over here at Green Lane with Raj. Now, Green Lane is, okay, so we're going to learn what Green Lane is. But I will say, this has been the talk of the show, because you guys are building some insane charging sites. And we love big charging sites on this channel. We've been to pretty much every big charging site out there. But I hear you're taking it to the next level. So can you walk us through what Green Lane is, what y'all are doing? Because I really don't know.
Absolutely. So Green Lane is a joint venture between BlackRock, Daimler Trucks of North America, and Nextera Energy to build out the largest public infrastructure for medium and heavy duty trucks. So not just for charging, but also hydrogen as well. And just like what Tesla did, we got to build the infrastructure to get the trucks out there.
Absolutely. Trucks don't work if you can't charge them.
Exactly.
And so it's always that chicken and the egg, but infrastructure has to come first.
Exactly.
It can't be the other way around.
Yes, yes.
So you guys are very well funded on the back end, which is awesome, it sounds like, and you can build sites. So tell us about what you've done so far. You have a site in the ground, is my understanding.
Yes, we do. So just to begin with, right, we were very strategic on where we need to build our sites, right? So luckily with Daimler, and we also have a partnership with Uber Freight, we got a lot of telemetry data. So we want to see all the different routes, right? And so we want to build sites where all the popular corridor routes are, from where the diesel trucks are, because in the end we want to transition them on their existing routes to EVs and making sure infrastructure's there. So strategically placing infrastructure. And the first corridor we announced was Port of Long Beach all the way to Las Vegas. It's the I-15, one of the most popular, probably the most popular route in North America. So, and so we built our first flagship site, which was Colton, California. There's about there's going to be potential up to 60 chargers, but we wanted to do something very differently just for trucks. And the other thing is that we have to be public charging. So that was the challenge, right? We're not a private depot or like a semi-private. We have to be for public charging. So how do you create the experience that's optimal for, Class 6, Class 8 trucks from a public charging perspective, for customers that want to come in, but even ad hoc truck drivers that want to come in as well. And so we built pass-through lanes and bobtail lanes. We have about, I would say, up to 20 pass-through lanes, 400 kilowatt Alpatronic units, and then we have about 29 bobtail lanes, which are the Power Electronics EFO units that are 180 kilowatts and slower speeds because those are like longer charging, et cetera. Yeah. And then the site, we were really wise on how we wanted to build it. So we put Trenwa everywhere to prepare for MCS, for megawatt charging.
So you've got a lot of trench room.
A lot of trench, and all the cabling, everything's ready for MCS. So
nice.
We architected in a way that when the trucks are ready for MCS, is simply just adding more power modules, swapping out the chargers, or adding more chargers to support megawatt charging.
So when you say public charging, is this going to be like owner-operator can come and use your sites?
Yeah.
And is it open to cars or just trucks, or how does that work?
Right now, it's for trucks. We are welcoming passenger cars, but like to a point where, so we do have passenger lanes, passenger parking. We're not in the business to cater towards passenger cars. That's Tesla and Ionna.
Yep.
My buddy Seth at Ionna, he's working on that.
This video is sponsored by them, so shout out Seth and Ionna. Yep.
I just saw him yesterday and caught up. And Seth and I we both came from EV Connect.
Yep.
So a lot of folks came from EV Connect and
literally the whole industry. We just filmed with them before too. Yeah, they're great.
We want to stick with interoperability with the trucks. That's our focus. Getting interoperability with passenger vehicles, it's a pain, but like it's not what we want to go into.
But
so we want to partner up with anybody.
Silverado and a big ass trailer, could I come and charge?
It'll work. Yes, you can.
Great.
It'll work as long as there's availability space. And I think one thing that's really cool about Colton and how we did it was the technology we put in, right? The challenge of it, so we have reservation systems. I demoed it yesterday.
Cool.
It's the first end-to-end reservation system, meaning the current reservation system globally, it's from a front-end facing perspective, it's like software control. So it'll say, unavailable from a mobile app perspective or an HMI perspective. But if anyone pulled up to the charger,
you're just sitting there trying to plug in.
Exactly, it'll look available. Yep. And they're going to plug in, and they'll be like authorization denied, and they're like, why?
I was just talking to Mercedes about this because they're trying to do reservations, and I was talking to their guys yesterday. I'm like, what if like a BZ4X is there and like an EQS driver, reserved it, and then the guy in the Mercedes is like, move your, Toyota. I'm trying to plug. It just doesn't work. It's a social issue.
It doesn't work. So I figured out that puzzle.
How do you do it?
So we are actually showing reserve status on the HMI. Also, we have smart signs on our lanes, kind of like airport, was it security or was it global entry?
Yeah.
Where you can which lane you should be going to.
Yeah.
So all of our lane actually have like the lane numbers and the statuses available in use and reserved overhead in real time. We also created an algorithm and logic behind our reservation system. So one of the key problems on getting the reserve now status on the HMI is that a specific ID needs to be associated with that reservation, and that could only unlock to that. Now people don't know what to use. Plug and charge, RFID, a mobile app, they're all different IDs. We kind of figured out the secret sauce on how it could work on all three.
Okay.
So that can charge. But our reservation system also is like very intelligent. We actually tell the driver what lane to go to based on availability status.
We're using the overhead?
Or the mobile app, or if we have API as well. So a lot of people are integrating the API, like Volvo did. We have integration with them. Daimler will too. And what it is that if you use your existing fleet portal or fleet manager or ours, you make we recommend you what type of reservation you want to make based on your route, how long, because we want to like do the thinking for them. Like this transition from diesel to EV trucks is going to be hard, right? Figuring out like how much charge do I need and for how long, depending on the load and my tire pressure and all these telemetry data, right? So we want to do the thinking for them, and we're just going to tell them what lane to go to.
Amazing.
Now the trick is how does this coexist with public charging? If someone pulls up before a reservation starts at that lane and they're charging even longer and it's bleeding into the reservation time, we will know immediately, far in advance, before the driver with the reservation will arrive, and we'll just re-sign them away.
You just move them to the next one.
We will just tell them go to this lane instead.
Okay,
and then
cool.
we will, and if they're sharing the state of charge and the geolocation, we can change the reservation time automatically.
Nice.
If they're late, we'll give them extra boost of energy. If there is
I want to
any
demonstrate
peak,
all that. We gotta show that all working.
You just came yesterday.
I know, I wish, but we'll come out to the site. We're gonna do a video with you guys. I mean, I really think everyone's seeing this, seeing the extra trenching, looking at the power connection. That's going to be interesting for everyone.
Yes.
So we should definitely do that.
But it's a lot of intelligence, right? It's I'm young and I'm playing around with GPT-4 and I'm like, we have to leverage AI in this industry.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what we're doing with our energy management and our reservation system.
Dude, I'd love to hear it. This is super exciting.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're going with these things because I think these are awesome. This is like one of my favorite chargers. And we got to come out and film it. So soon, next few weeks, months, whatever it'll be.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be together filming at the site.
Yes.
And we should bring a couple trucks over.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
see how that all works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring your Silverado.
we can bring a truck and a trailer, no problem. Should be fun. Well, thanks very much. Congratulations.
No problem. Thank you.
And how many sites are you building?
So right now we have the first quarter. So Baker, Barstow. It won't be as big as Colton, but we're being very strategic on we have 3 different sizes. We have our Green Lane Centers, a Green Lane Plus, and then Green Lane Express. So Green Lane Express would be like at dealerships. Green Lane Plus would be like extension of existing land, like a T of A or anything else like that. So we have to be very smart and strategic on how we do it, because if we're building these big behemoths everywhere, we're going to run out of money.
I mean, they're pretty cool though.
Yeah, they are pretty cool. But we're very smart on where we need to do it, where there's a lot of traffic and where there's a lot of need. We'll be building Green Lane Centers.
Cool.
There.
Wish you guys the best of luck. These electric trucks will not work without charging. And so while some will have their own fleet charging depots, many will not.
Yes.
And we need this. So shout out you guys. Should be cool. We'll be at a site soon. We're on to the next one. Sohail,
yes.
You recording? Let's do it. Tell us about what is this?
Well, Teal, yes. Teal, we manufacture DC fast chargers out of Canada.
Good to hear it.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. That's great.
There's a lot of manufacturers out there, but we're doing things differently.
What is different?
The only chargers in the world rated for minus 58 Fahrenheit.
Okay.
And it goes up to 128 without derating.
So huge temperature range.
Huge, yeah.
Okay, love to hear it.
Everything designed from ground up. So it's not a bunch of off-the-shelf systems that goes in a box and you call it a charger.
Yeah.
Right? So
power modules included?
Power modules we don't build. There's just so much good power modules out there now. That's, we got this transparent upfront pricing for fleets, operators, and all that. So look, this is a power module, comes from this supplier. You want us to supply it, fine. Buy directly from them. That's fine, right? So we're trying to help the customers with the cost. And
because cost can get crazy with these things.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and the power modules, it's there's great companies out there that are doing it. There's some European players like Alpitronic. They're making their own power modules, but once you, as an operator, figure out how much they cost. That's a bit of
real expensive.
Real expensive. Yeah.
So show us what you have. You have this small unit here.
Yeah, we got the. This comes in 2 variants, 30 and 40 kilowatts.
Okay.
Mostly meant for fleet operations.
Yeah.
Very low profile model.
Yeah, it's very small for 40 kilowatt. That's nice. Yeah.
It's we got the flagship product. Okay. 240 kilowatt.
Looks nice. Really nice. And that's an all-in-one 240.
Yeah, all-in-one.
Wow, it's very compact. That's very impressive.
It is the most compact in the world.
Yeah.
So you look at, if you compare it with the HIC 200 from Alpitronic.
Yeah, that's way bigger.
This is 69% more
power
compact.
dense.
Power dense.
Yeah, very cool. And of course, you support up to 1,000 volts on these.
1,000 volts. This power shares with another 240 units.
Oh, okay.
There's an 800 amp DC bus. that
Yeah.
this
So you can DC link to it.
DC link. So up to 480, you can dispense from a unit like this. This is designed for, we're gonna go to Europe market with it, but designed for basically installing it between two vehicles without blocking the whole parking lot.
Yeah, it's really impressively sized, and to do basically 480 kilowatts.
480, yeah.
That's going to be really nice.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. And the price is good.
Oh,
can we say roughly cheapest in the market, or so? What do you think?
Price were similar to Korean, Taiwanese suppliers.
Okay, wow.
Quality definitely better than them.
Yeah.
All SIC. Full SIC.
Nice. So you've got silicon inverters, silicon carbide inverters.
Yeah, 97.5% peak efficiency.
Very good.
And 3 years of standard warranty on all of our products. Covers all the parts and labor.
Service network?
Service network, we have a very hands-off kind of approach toward the surface. We have a knowledge base.
Okay.
We share with you. And once I crack this open, I show you. Basically, a grade 10 smart kit could service these things. We've done everything from ground up, so maintenance service is trivial. Yeah. So let's crack this 30 kilowatt open. And when we talk about our products, we're not building or selling a product. It's a platform.
Okay.
So that same circuit board, it's a teal design circuit board. This does all the heavy lifting of these chargers. That's your high voltage side. This is your communication and low voltage control side.
Okay. Nice.
All designed in-house.
And it's your own PCBA.
100%. Yeah, it's all teal work.
Yeah.
And this same control board goes into this charger, goes into depot charger.
Oh,
it's the overhead unit.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's neat. Yeah.
All in one. Comes in two variants, 80 and 160.
That same size for 160?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really
No,
juicy.
sorry. The 160 is like this thicker.
Oh, not much different.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But it's exactly the other dimensions are all
So
the
power
same.
density is pretty impressive with you guys. This is really cool.
Like this unit is 292 millimeter wide.
Yeah.
If you could make it 291 millimeter, we definitely would do that.
Yeah, okay,
But it's just
love it.
basically, you open this up, you can't even squeeze a shoehorse in it.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, let's take a look at this thing.
Like 30, these are pretty standard chargers. One of the unique features on this is daisy chaining on the input.
Okay.
So up to 4 chargers you could put on a single circuit.
And you could just do one input and then it shares?
Yeah, it's
okay.
dual log, right?
Okay.
One in, one out to the next charger. Yeah.
Great. Love to see it. And will it power share across all of them?
Well, daisy chaining is on the input only, eh?
Explain.
On the AC.
Yeah.
So a power bar, what it does, you can plug in 10 devices in it.
Yep.
This daisy chaining is basically just does the power bar, so you could power up 10 chargers on the AC side.
I see.
That what helps you is instead of, in many cases the panel doesn't have room for 4 breakers.
Sure.
But you have a room for a 200 amp breaker.
Right.
You with that 200 amp breaker, you bring
And you don't need to get extra switch gear.
Yeah,
or
extra
anything.
switch gear.
Yep.
New set of wires.
Got it.
That's extra work, right?
Makes sense.
So one set of wire goes to this and this. Pulling 4 wires or one is different, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Makes sense.
open this up.
It opens from the bottom up. That's kind of cool. There's your power module. Nice.
Yeah, it's a power module. This
Familiar.
is generation 1.
Yep.
The Gen 2 is smaller
Yep.
and is offering both 30 and 40.
Are you able to share what power modules you support?
Well, we're currently using just one manufacturer, but going from one power, these are all CAN devices, right?
Yep.
From one power module to the other, if the client really wants that, we're a custom manufacturer.
Cool.
Everything is done custom. Number of cables, unique cable lengths, configuration, all that. But yeah, that's the circuit board I showed you, one piece. Full automotive wiring harness.
Yeah, looks nice.
So there's no screw terminals. Right?
Yeah.
These are designed that someone in Canada is minus 30 degrees, shows in front of this charger, want to service the charger, right? And you're looking at so many screw terminals. That's just so easy to mess up. Right?
Absolutely.
These we use TE Amphenol, connectors, widely used in Toyota cars. We have some prototype version of this charger that maybe a few hundred times that has been connected, disconnected. The harness still has no problem.
Right.
They're really meant for going through vibration, corrosion, dust, really robust.
Amazing.
And everything's also unique. You can't screw this.
Okay.
All the connectors are unique, so it only goes
So
in
you can't
one
mess
way.
one up.
Yeah. Let's say
Yep.
that sensing lines, one is black, one is yellow.
Yep.
So it's just you can't mess it up.
Makes sense. Totally.
Yeah. And everything is really accessible. Let's say replacing a cable. Shouldn't take
Right
half
here.
an hour,
Yeah, of
right?
course, yeah.
We got a custom wrench. inside
no way.
each
That's
unit.
awesome.
Yeah, get how tight it is?
Yeah.
With that wrench, you easily could loosen this up. Once you loosen this up, it's one connector, 3 little M10s, M6s, and this comes out. Every cable we sell comes with the gland bonded to it.
Oh,
so
nice.
there's no problem cable
So you
coming
can
out.
just throw it right
Yes.
in there. That's
and,
amazing.
and once you put it in, this is dimensions in a way that actually holds the gland. So you don't need to worry about it. You put it in, you put this nut on, tighten it. It's a single-handed operation once you.
So you'll be selling in Europe? You'll be selling in Canada?
Well,
what about the US?
Canada and US are the primary market.
Okay, good.
Next year we're looking at Europe.
Okay, congrats. How can people learn more about it? Is there a website? Is there a,
Well, of course.
reseller?
Yeah. We have a website.
Just go to Teal?
TealEV.com.
TealEV.com.
I got my business card here.
Amazing.
It's, you know, when you talk quality.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking sick.
It's lots of stuff is plastic.
Yeah.
And the place we are in has harsh sun and cold. You know what I mean? Things don't last.
Gotta go metal.
But
So this is what the inlet port is? Yeah, that's so sick. I mean, that's just a freaking solid piece right there. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thanks, pal.
And yeah, it was really good to meet you. We walked by you earlier and I was like, I gotta check this stuff out.
For sure. Yeah.
Thanks for the time.
All good. Appreciate it.
Guys, we're with Chris at ProTerra. I thought ProTerra went out of business. They didn't.
It's
In
not
a sense.
true.
Yeah.
It's a confusing situation, but the ProTerra brand that a lot of people remember was an OEM of electric buses.
Yes.
Due to COVID and a lot of the challenges that arose from all those supply chain issues, that company went bankrupt in 2023. So in 2024, the Volvo Group actually purchased the battery supplied business unit. So the buses are actually a different business unit that got divulged after the bankruptcy. The ProTerra brand that lives on today is actually a wholly owned independent subsidiary of the Volvo Group. So really exciting to be able to see some of our packs over in the Mac booth today.
Yeah.
But because we are independent, we're still selling to the rest of the global market. So any commercial or industrial vehicle application is fair game, and we're electrifying lots of them.
Dang, pretty cool. So can you show us just a little bit? We won't go super in depth now. Maybe in a future video we should. But you're essentially offering, like, these things look super hardy, dude.
Yeah.
These cases.
So we've really always specialized in extremely safe and rugged, high energy dense products. So we are using nickel chemistry here. That's specifically for range, for a lot of the applications that we have over the road, and long run rates for the off-road applications like ports, construction. But it's really robust. We're not using any kind of composites, and it's very safe from the inside out. So we have lots of different levels of passive and active safety features, both from the controllers on the software side, but also just the architecture, how we isolate all of the different energy components from the others thermally and electrically, make sure that heat doesn't spread if there ever is any kind of issues. So Volvo acquired us obviously because safety is a huge priority, but also we have that energy density, which a lot of their vehicles need. So we bring it to Volvo, we bring it to everybody.
So I know you've got customers to meet. We're on a bit of a time crunch. One question for you. Are customers looking for high nickel or LFP?
I would say that it is going to be a mix of both. It's going to depend on the application, but I will say that thanks to Tesla and the nickel supply chain that exists in the US, it's also the most Chinese resilient chemistry option for people who are searching for US supply chains.
Absolutely.
And we're a US manufacturer, so that's what we pride ourselves on today.
Makes sense. Really love to see it. And, you know, we should come out and do something with you guys at some point.
Oh man, you should come out to our technology center in Burlingame, California. It'd be an awesome trip.
Yeah, I think we got to make that happen. So thanks for taking the time. I know you got stuff to do.
Hey,
really
thanks so much.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Awesome, guys.
Thanks.
See ya.
What's up, guys? This is the X15 Cummins diesel that pretty much powers everything cool, RVs, trucks, buses, and there's different versions of it, the N, the H, the hybrid concept. But of course, so we're, you know, with this event, it's not just focused on battery electric, it's also on cleaner diesels, alternative fuels that you can run in combustible engines. We're not really getting into it massively in this video because of course we cover battery electric stuff primarily, but you can see they've got an Autel charger over there, DC compact, which is cool. And also Cummins just does some cool stuff. I'm a huge fan. Yeah, always loved Cummins stuff. They have their sort of battery electric side of the business over there. Might be worth digging into like a full separate video on this at some point in the future. Also want to show everyone over here the new Volvo VNL. This is the new generation over-the-road tractor, which is just awesome and not electric at all. But always wanted to check this thing out. Super sick. So let's run through because, you know, they've got so many fuel efficiency benefits in the new ones. They've got battery electric sort of day cabs. The VNR is what this is called. I don't know if this one's an electric one. I think it must be. Yeah, VNR EV. So this is, we've shown this on the channel. We have actually a full in-depth video on this on Out of Spec Reviews on this channel. talking about how it works. The electric motors are right over here. That's a dual motor drivetrain actually with a single output, which is kind of cool. So you've got your motor 1, motor 2, which is kind of interesting, all into one output shaft over here. So pretty sick. We've done a full tour of this. There's also some big freaking construction equipment. Scott, I'm sure you're into that.
I am so here for all the construction equipment, the tractors,
excavator,
all of it.
Yeah, so you got a giant front loader right here. That's just absolutely awesome. And we've done, again, a full video on this channel showcasing all of these products. So it's not worth going massively into it. I just want to go and drive some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like Volvo's got to have an experience center somewhere.
Or a playground or something.
So we were just at Terra, and of course they're owned by Volvo Group, the trucking side of things, which also owns Mac, headquartered also in North Carolina, Greensboro. You drive by it every time you go through on 40. Used to live right down the street from there. And here we have, just a garbage truck, basically, that's fully electric. So we've got a couple of these different models that are around in the fleet. We've got like Battle Motors is the one that goes through my neighborhood. That's a fully electric garbage truck, but this thing's pretty sick. No idea what they have over here. Combustion situation. This is the new Mac truck. Actually, my buddy Andre at TFL just did a video on this new Mac truck. So I've got a TFL truck and check that out. So that was pretty cool. What else do we have around? This is a Mac MD fully electric, pretty cool. So that's sick. And this was the thing it's basically a DC charger that they claim takes energy directly from the high voltage battery to DC charge a car on the output, which is pretty cool. So it's in this bright drop situation, which is awesome. You can roll it up, charge another car out the back. We love mobile charging solutions. This is probably worth a test sometime. We got to get this on the channel and charge another car off of it. Hello again. Hey there. You want to tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm Kyle, by the way.
Dan,
let me steal a mic. I'm just going to slap that on you real quick. All right. So we love bright drops. We love charging. You've got both.
Yeah, we've got both. So this is a 240 kW capable charger.
Okay.
And we can go inside and look at it if you want to see it.
I do.
Yeah,
so how do you power it?
Off the bright drop van.
Really?
So we're integrated in to the CAN bus.
Yeah.
And so we can see.
So do you have a direct output directly connected to the battery then?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So
and then what do you have to feed the charger? Just DC to DC modules?
Yep. We have a DC-DC converter inside this Yoshi Mobility box here.
Okay.
So it's a liquid cooled cable, 480 amps out with two DC-DC buck boost converters inside. And so we take the power from the Ultium pack. We use the charge cable, which is it's big.
How big is the pack in this thing?
It's a 22 mod pack.
So it's 180 kilowatt hours?
173, I think.
170, yeah, plus or minus.
Probably 180.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't,
Yep. And so we bring so instead of running the cable from the pack back to the charge port, we bring it into our charger for a bit.
Okay.
We have a power distribution unit that basically can take the power from the pack directly that way, or we can charge back through to charge the pack.
Dude, I need this. This is so cool. So we make YouTube videos on electric cars, and I run them to dead because we do range testing on everything.
Yep.
And I have to roll up, and I've got a Cybertruck with the power output that I have to like AC charge stuff with.
Yeah.
And it takes forever, and it's annoying. This is sick. And I love that you're tying into the high voltage battery pack on the bright drop. Now, probably that voids the warranty on the battery.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of cool how it doesn't freak the bright drop out, that you can pull that much power out. Do you have to keep it in drive?
No, we don't keep it in drive. So we monitor the state. We make sure that it's in park. If you change like the shift position or whatever, we have a CAN FD gateway that monitors the CAN bus.
Yeah.
And then we can kick it. Like if you try to put the vehicle in drive,
that's the benefit of GM stuff. Everyone's already hacked all the CAN systems, so you can do cool stuff like this. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So I think what we really should do is we got to hook up with you guys and shoot like a full video on this in the field. Where are you based out of?
We're in Milpitas, California.
Oh,
like
okay,
San Jose.
easy.
Still Silicon Valley, basically.
Yeah, no problem. So we should definitely come and like show this thing working. I think the viewers would love that. So,
would love to show it to you.
love that you're literally tied into the main high voltage pack.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah. Well, like with the payload, it's really hard to put a lot of extra packs. I'm sure you're aware of this. Like,
absolutely.
So having the and the GM, the nice thing about GM is you have such large packs.
Yeah.
So the other one we've thought about
GM's all about all the energy for the money.
Yeah. So it like even in this, in this cabinet is also designed so that it could go in a Silverado. So that's actually I think would be a more scalable form factor.
Then you can get the 24 module.
Yeah, 24 mod.
Go 217 kilowatt hours usable and output out of that thing. So that's what we need to do. We need to get that. We got to put it in a Silverado. I'll buy a Silverado.
All right, let's do it.
You got to send us that for a video.
Yeah.
And then done. Solution solved. Dude, that's sick. Okay, yeah, we got to show this working. This is amazing. Plus, BrightDrop's cool. I have a whole driving review on this channel. Actually, from this event a couple years ago when I drove it from the first time. We've had it on the channel before, but BrightDrops are sick. So shout out to Yoshi Mobility. Yeah. And how'd you come up with this idea? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so originally when Yoshi started, we were a gas delivery company.
Oh,
so
really?
we scaled across the country. We had a bunch of Chevy Silverados with gas things. We sold that earlier this year.
Congrats.
And about a year and a half ago, we decided to build an electric version of our fuel truck.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the answer to that. And we had to keep it on a like platform that's, you can't put a bunch of batteries on it because there's not the payload that we need.
Yeah.
So we're able to put it all together and basically recreate our gas experience, but with electric.
I absolutely love this. Can't believe they're using the main high voltage pack out of the BrightDrop. Coolest thing ever. Love to see it. All right. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Cal. Love the show.
Thanks. This isn't just any Peterbilt truck that hit the brake so hard the hood popped up. This is what's called the Revolt Powertrain system. Let me just adjust this really quick. There we go. And pretty cool. So these guys are super cool. They're viewers of ours, so they said we can play around with this. So I'm not going to go super in depth right now, but looks amazing. Scania engine, which has been certified for use in the US, super rare, super cool. Not delivered originally with the truck. The whole powertrain here is bespoke to Revolt, and they have other chassis that they have it in, not just the Peterbilt. This doesn't power the wheels at all. It powers that Danfoss generator right in there. And then that Danfoss generator powers these couple hundred kilowatt hours worth of battery packs right here. And this is the diesel tank because it's a diesel electric. It can also charge, plug in, and it can also do vehicle-to-vehicle charging. That battery pack then feeds dual electric motors. They say it does huge burnouts on the rear axle here. And this is Gus. He's the man. He's awesome. But essentially, the electric motors power back here. Sorry to interrupt your presentation.
Good.
And it's really cool. So essentially, you can have a diesel electric drivetrain in a truck, and they're going to bring it up to the hub. So videos on this coming, because I like diesel. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially if you can run it at peak efficiency, peak power, just ripping. They say it's great in the mountains. Put a trailer on it. You don't need to put a megawatt hour worth of batteries in this thing. It's a really cool solution, the drivetrain itself. Multiple technologies have to get us, of course, to less emissions. And yeah, while I think the Tesla Semi is amazing with a full battery electric drivetrain, I do think a lot more people are going to be comfortable with a diesel electric situation where it can be more efficient. And currently, there's just no high power charging network built out anywhere for large scale Class 8 trucks. Tesla's working on a bunch of stations we just heard in the presentation today, but it's going to take a long time to get there. A solution like this can actually help now. So love it and can't wait to play around with it and do a massive burnout in it. On to the next thing. Brad, what's up, sir?
Well, we're in the Eaton booth at
we love Eaton.
at ACT, and this is primarily a vehicle-focused show, and so we've got a bunch of stuff in the booth that is automotive in nature. It does a lot of automotive components.
Yes.
But also we have charge stations here in the booth, and we're showing our DC fast charge, which goes from 50 to 150 kilowatts.
Yeah.
Since we last talked, that project has launched into the market. It's been doing really well.
That's this right over here.
That's one over here, yeah.
So the last time I was with you, we were in Pennsylvania.
Correct.
Talking about, all of the back-end software for chargers and all of the, basically, Eaton's like insane level of spanning the market.
Yeah, and that continues to grow. So the charging station, the charge station management software, we have microgrid software and services. We've launched new battery energy storage options as well. So really, the breadth of what Eaton can provide is starting to come into visibility. Right, it's been a while. We've been pushing for it. Now you're actually starting to see that there are complete solutions. One of the things that we're announcing this week, I don't know if the press release has gone out, but I'll give you the preview, which is that we've signed a distribution agreement with PACCAR Parts.
Oh, wow.
And so over in the PACCAR booth, there is one of these that's been private labeled for PACCAR.
Perfect.
And so that's going to support their Kenworth and Peterbilt businesses. Some interesting stuff I learned from one of their salespeople just today was that, at least in California, 11% of the trucks that they need to sell in California have to be electric.
Oh, wow.
So when customers come to them and say, I need to buy a truck or 10 trucks, out of every 10 trucks, at least one has to be electric. So every one of those is going to go out the door with one of these.
That's amazing, dude.
So
Amazing.
pretty excited to hear that.
Congrats. Well, Eaton's been a longtime supporter of out of spec, and you've been a longtime supporter of the EV industry for a really while. So I encourage everyone to go watch the video we did together in Pennsylvania, sort of Eaton's full tour, if you will.
Absolutely.
And I learned so much during that visit. It was fun to hang out with you. And we got to do another video with your Kia Soul.
I hope we do.
Because it's got a new battery now.
It does have a new battery. You can take it up. You can take it up the hill all the way.
Angeles Crest, here we come.
Here you
your
go.
Soul EV. Always good to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
Good to see you.
Toyota Hydrogen Solutions. That's a shocker. Guys, you joined me over at ChargePoint with my friend Rob. Welcome to the channel.
Good to see you, Kyle. Thanks.
MCS, big power cube.
Yes.
We're at ChargePoint doing all the stuff.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Totally. So this is our distributed platform Express Plus. So distributed meaning all the power is popped into this cabinet here. And then this is the dispenser where it all comes out.
Yep.
You guys might remember.
Everyone watching this has used one of these probably.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so. As we did last year, we're showing off the MCS connector. So we're not seeing a ton of vehicles wanting to accept this yet, but we are still open for interop charging. This particular system can do 1.2 megawatt, and then in the future, we're looking for our next generation. We'll be able to get up to 3 megawatts.
How many of these cubes do you need to do that?
This would take about 6, I think.
Okay.
So it's a lot. It's a lot of power that you got to pack in there. Of course, the benefit of this is you can set it up so it's flexible. So you could have an MCS connector, but then if you had 6 cubes and then potentially you had 3 dispensers, they could dispense. You could do the power sharing so that they dispensed less, than a megawatt, but they could do it between the different vehicles depending on how you wanted to set it up.
Sure, sure. So that's pretty sick. You can also option the CCS or NACS.
That's right. Yeah, CCS, NACS, Omniport is actually now standard with our Express Plus.
Can we show that?
Yeah, let's go take a look at Omniport. So it's not on here, but we've got it over here on the CP6K.
Cool. So I saw Omniport for the first time when I was over charging the Gravity at your headquarters a few weeks ago.
That was awesome.
And we did 400 kilowatts out of your charger, rip into that thing. So that was pretty fun.
That was really cool.
It was also funny
we loved having you.
Had to go to your lab to get the charging power because there was no public charger that could deliver it.
And that's what we're hoping to change over time. I think, as we're looking into the next generation of products, like if we can get more power in more places, that would be awesome. But we were glad at least we could do that for you. I will quickly just get this. Oops, there we go. So I initiate a charge, and then I pick a port. So if I click right here, you can see it's got both J1772 and NACS. So I think right now I've got I've mocked up. I've got a F-150 Lightning as my car, even though that's not my real car.
So it selected.
So it selected J1772. You see when I pull it out, that's what you get.
Yeah.
And then when I pop it back in, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, I borrowed my friend's Tesla today. I'm gonna go over to NACS. You heard the click.
Yeah.
And it comes out with the adapter. So pretty cool.
Amazing.
Super simple. I think the idea here is like drivers, whoever's going to put these stations in the ground, we don't want them to play, particularly for the folks who are buying the stations, they don't want to play junior prognosticator, like who's going to do what standard over time.
Right, how many NACS do you put in,
Exactly.
How many CCS? Does the guy have the adapter in their car?
Exactly.
Just build it all
That's
in.
exactly right. So we're trying to mitigate and avoid people having to make those decisions.
Absolutely love it. And you have this for AC and DC.
That's right. So it is standard on our 50 amp, an option on our 80 amp CB6000, and then it is standard, I believe, now on all Express Plus ones that we ship.
Pretty cool. So that will be coming to the market. Means you don't have to carry your adapter with you. The adapter's like, okay, if you are a single owner of a vehicle, it's usually no problem.
Totally.
But if you're renting one, if you're borrowing one, if you're traveling, whatever it is, sometimes I just bring an adapter, put it in another car, show up at a station, go, oh crap. This solves that problem.
Yeah, exactly.
So Omniport's cool. I definitely can't wait to see how the mechanism holds up like in the field and reliability.
Exactly. Yeah, and we've been doing a ton of testing on it. So we, in fact, I can attest. One of our PMMs actually, when it was first getting tested, he broke it, and I was very proud of him. I said, "Thank you. That's what we need to do: is break it over and over and over again until it stops breaking altogether." So, yeah.
And then so you've got your. This is still public charging, 50 amp.
So this actually, it is, we technically think of this as a behind the fence charger because it doesn't have a screen and it also doesn't have a credit card reader. So it's not a great option for putting like in a parking lot necessarily.
Yeah.
We primarily have these for depot charging or for, behind the fence applications. So you might see this with like a small, mid-sized fleet, and this would be able to be a good charger for those options.
Very cool. But I think this going up to 80 amps will change the level 2 game because we have so many 30 amp versions of these, and cars got big batteries now.
No,
and
exactly.
30 amps doesn't do anything.
It doesn't really support the need anymore. So we're looking to get more of these out in the field. you know, we love this thing. So
yeah. And
awesome.
then just running around to this side really quick, you have the new, instead of CPE 250, it's now CPE 280.
That's right. So the 250 was the last one with 62.5 per. Now we've got 80 kilowatt output for these. The coolest thing about this, so you can do, these have got dual ports, so you can do a CCS and a NACS. We don't have Omni port on this particular station.
Right.
But for this, you got 80 kilowatt output from both. They can, when you pair them like we have here, you can get 160 out of a single port when you're charging.
And that's nice, just to run the DC link as part of the installation. And then if there's just one car, it gets everything.
That's right.
There's two cars. And it's essentially the same platform as the 250, just with an updated power module.
Exactly, that's correct.
And we've shown this on the channel, I think when we did our full ChargePoint tour a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. That's actually how I learned about ChargePoint when I first started, so thank you.
Oh, okay, amazing. Love to hear it.
Cool. Very cool.
So anyway, thanks for the quick tour on everything.
Of course.
And that's what we've been doing for everyone.
Love it.
And thanks for letting me use your lab a couple weeks ago.
Always. You're always welcome. Please come by again.
That's amazing. Nice. And we'll see you on another one again soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, dude. Well, guys, if you've been watching Out of Spec recently, it's like we've turned into the GM fan club. That's because I'm really liking what General Motors is like doing through updates to their electric cars. And they've brought some through their Involve program, which is their electric vehicle fleet. Or really any fleet application, I should say, but they brought some EVs over here. So here you just have like a normal Equinox, which is a perfect car to use just as a fleet situation. Here you've got the big boy. We've done so much with this Silverado EV. You can option this thing with a new standard LFP battery for this model year, which is kind of interesting. Or you can go all the way for the big 24 module, 200 plus kilowatt hour juicy pack. No need to talk about them in length. We've already done that many times, but I'm glad they're here. Another Bright Drop for you. Bright Drops are becoming more popular. They are sitting on lots with discounts, but I think people should consider them more because it's a really nice electric van. I'm a big Bright Drop fan, so that thing's pretty sick. And you've got more stuff going on over here. So InCharge Energy brought this Bright Drop right there. And, you know, showing off some of their chargers, their back-end stuff. InCharge is really becoming a popular charging provider among fleets and for other services. So that's great to see. Have we shown EV Connect yet, Scott? I don't think so. EV Connect is here. They are becoming a super popular back-end like activation charger management system in a sense where you can go and put your charger on their network and then any public use can use it. I actually think it's what I'm going to use for some of my chargers coming up potentially. And so like, yeah, I want to get the office charger on EV Connect. It's just an app a lot of people have. You can Apple Pay. It's super easy. My only issue is my EV Connect app keeps logging me out when I'm in. So if they can fix that, that would be really nice. And now we're making our way over to, oh, we got to show everyone Windrose. We haven't done that yet. Okay, Windrose is like someone described a Tesla semi-truck and then they over the telephone and then they built that.
Yeah, I like that.
It's very close. And let's show over here. This is ADS Tech we're coming up into. So they make the Porsche chargers. So the Porsche charging truck and trailer. I did a whole video of that. It's like a 1 point something megawatt hour or even more battery pack on a trailer. Can't remember, but this is also a battery buffered system. Not incredibly popular in the US, but very popular in Europe. Every Porsche like factory charger uses ADS Tech and their turbocharging trailers, they call them. Really freaking awesome. Another cable manufacturer, eValueCon. We've seen these and Sambu cables on many different charging equipment. So also Amphenol, we're kind of in the connector nerd charging stuff. Love this. Amphenol has all of their connectors on display and they make in-vehicle connectors, a bunch of other stuff, but then the things that you'll interact with on a daily basis would be over here. And this is what you'll see at the end of a lot of chargers. So you'll see liquid cooled, immersion cooling, air cooling differences, MCS, CCS, NACS. They make GBT stuff from all different things. Here's the 1000 volt version of NACS, for example, with the required spacing needed in there. And so, yeah, just, you know, we've shown Amphenol many times. It's probably worth doing an in-depth video on how temperature sensors work, all this stuff. They just gave me their new NACS to CCS adapter, which is the first UL2252 NACS to CCS adapter on the market. So pretty cool that it has 2252. It has the side latch right there, which is nice. DC pins, thermistors in there as well. We'll be stress testing that over the next little bit. But of course, Amphenol makes a bunch of cables, connectors and stuff. This is their new J3400 handle for a handle, which is kind of interesting, but this actually works really well when you need twisting forces to interface it. Again, not every single cable is going to be as thin as a Tesla version 3 supercharger. Even version 4 superchargers and others will have thick big boy cables on them. So while it's nice the industry switched to NACS, it isn't going to be that wet noodle feeling every time. So going in with this will really help with the twisting forces needed to interface the connector to the inlet port. Okay, probably worth a full video at some point in the future, but now I'm going to show you the Windrose truck. Hello. I hope I didn't mess anything up.
No, we love it. I
Okay.
do a demonstration for you how you hook it up to the CCS so they can see it locking in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wanna do it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let me hand you a mic.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a quick demonstration right here on our new CCS1 to NACS adapter that's now 2252 certified. Basically, you're going to push this right down in here into the CCS1. There is a locking mechanism, so it will not come out. And as he said, we've got our new NACS with the handle. This is so that when we have liquid cooled cable, it's not so heavy, it's easier to install, and it has the replaceable face. You're just going to push this in here. What keeps us standing apart from other people is the fact that you cannot take this out until it's fully charged and you disengage the lock. So you're basically going to pull the lock down, pull this out, and pull this right out.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And we have this adapter. We're using it this week on a road trip, so we're going to stress test it, and it should be interesting to see how it does.
I am so happy you're trying this.
Yeah, okay,
Thank
great
you.
to see you. Thank you very much.
you.
Windrose, electric truck, these are out here. There's a bunch of them in the US. Sort of China, sort of US. Making cool noises up in here right now. Pumps or air compressor just kicked on. That's awesome. I don't know much about it, but this is worth a full video. And I really can't wait to do, this versus that comparison test with this thing. But it just looks the part. It's super cool. You can see when you look at the front end. Oh my gosh, Brandon Flash and Victor on the inside. Hold on, we got to get in there. Let me borrow this. Let me steal this. Okay, what the heck is here? Brandon, take the mic.
Do not let him talk on camera.
Yeah, come on.
Hey.
What's going on in this thing?
We're having a party.
It's an EV influencer meetup here.
Oh, what the heck?
Let's check out
Hey.
some of the features on this. It is just insane, out of the world.
It has a scent diffuser. I'm dead serious.
Like an S-Class.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's got 3 scent diffusers.
3 options.
What scents do they have?
They have. Where was that?
This is literally like Tesla Semi described over the telephone.
Where was that option?
Now, Victor, you've played around with these things. Are they actually pretty cool?
This is my first time seeing this, and this is like an engineer's like list your requirements, and then Windrose comes in and say, okay, done.
Yeah, select all.
It's got Bulgarian rose.
Oh, I love
Far
it.
from home, and gentle and agreeable as the wind.
Where was
Are the
that
3
option?
cents.
Oh, gentle and agreeable as the wind. Oh,
Yeah, we're
that
trying
is
to find where it
amazing.
is on there.
What's it
Oh,
charged to, Brandon?
Yeah, there it is.
So gentle and agreeable as the wind.
Yeah.
Far from home, Bulgarian rose. And you can even have different concentrations. And they're diffused out here.
Yeah, out of the bottom there.
Wow, I would have never imagined.
We can have a party. You want to come in?
Yeah, come on up.
Like,
we could dance.
And you can stand up.
The AC's been gone the whole bit.
I'm coming up. Oh, wow. Look at this. You really can just stand up completely in here. This is amazing.
If this doesn't make the next podcast, we're in trouble.
Okay, so I think we need to do our next podcast from in the Windrose.
Yeah, we should.
Can we drive? Can we go for a ride in one at some point?
Yeah, there's a ride and drive. There's a ride and drive out in there.
Yeah.
Can I drive it?
Yes.
Hell yeah, brother.
I want to ride passenger for that.
No, wait. If I'm driving it, we're smoking tires. Yeah, you better order another set.
We'll put it in sport mode for you. We'll be good.
Hell yeah, brother. Okay, this is sick. This is really
This is
nice.
really cool.
Oh, I'm moving in.
It's got the TV, it's got the bed, you're good to go.
Got everything.
Got the remote. Here, there you go. You got the remote for the TV.
Yeah, sick.
and I'm told they have Megawatt charging. So
And we do have Megawatt charging.
Megawatt charging.
We may or may not be testing out at.
Yeah, I've heard of those guys before. So this is pretty cool. So you've got the double screen action going on. Got the air seat. You've got like a very interesting looking steering wheel with paddle shifters.
Here, I'll let you sit.
Probably regen control of some kind. Wow, you can adjust the temperature in very odd increments.
Yeah, very odd.
It must be Celsius.
Yeah, just an odd translation of Celsius there. That's kind of interesting. And, oh, damn, look at this. This is sick. Okay, what does health do? Oh, let's go charging first. So we're at 66%, 458 miles.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. Oh my God, let's put this thing in drive. Good luck everyone else.
Knock some people over.
That would be a really bad day for a lot of people. We test the safety systems.
See if it lets you with the person right in front of you.
Okay, well that was way more fun of a Windrose visit than I was expecting. Guys, welcome over here to the ABB booth. We have saved the best for last. We're with our friend Chris from ABB. We've shown this before on this channel. I actually have a full in-depth video of their A400. One of the most exciting products of the year, in my impression. I love that it is an all-in-one 400 kilowatts, super high quality, going after our friends next door. And you've got some really cool innovations in here, from your new cable design to the new software and architecture. Chris is going to walk us through the entire product lineup for this year for ABB. New colors, new high power charging. That's kind of the name of the game for this show. Yeah. So, but we're going to start here because this is where we left everyone off. And so, yeah, show us what you got with the A400.
So perfect, Kyle. So what we're going to start with is what we really invested in about the HMI configuration so that brand show through. So how do we do that? You see your brand here. We basically created a sandbox approach for people to put their brands and configure what they want. So what we'll do here is start with this.
Oh,
so
okay. We've got our own out-of-spec brand. How about that?
Exactly.
That's awesome. Okay. So can you come in and zoom in on this and take a look at this? So we've got the out-of-spec logo right there. How about that? So when you send us one, this is what it's going to look like. I'm just joking.
So what does that mean? That means basically we've tried to give our customers a sandbox to say, you want your logo here, you want your text here, your color here, you want to make them pay with an app or an RFID card. So what I plan to do is we'll just run through this normal in like 1 minute, and then we'll go through and I'll let you configure some things yourself.
Cool, sounds fun, sounds fun.
Okay,
yeah.
So the typical charging sequence, connect to your vehicle. We connect to the vehicle, very similar to like what we discussed last year, the CTEP pricing, the configuration.
Yep.
But what I would like to call out is you have the new color scheme, the new gray, and so now when we press confirm, we have app only, so we removed it for you, like debit, credit, or RFID. And now we continue. So you now have blue, so that's nice. Signaling and coloring. This is your, I think, your accent color.
I love this right here.
Yeah,
yep,
exactly.
Yep.
So again, you also have the charge details and your accent color. And then if people do not have your app, there's always a call to action to get it right
the QR code to pop up or whatever.
So you can do the QR code here, but then we also can have a tow screen to say, you're a first-time user and deep link to an app store of a retailer for that.
And so having the QR code built in kind of with your back end, more or less, here is so important to folks that do want to use a credit card.
Yes.
And you can monitor your charging session regardless if you're logged in or not. You've got it there, which is so important. Also, just a point to the viewers, a lot of DC fast charging manufacturers will let CPOs kind of customize whatever software they want, and it gets really messy.
Yes.
And people don't know what customers want, is what I've learned. And so by you guys giving them sort of the guardrails of what they can and can't change, I actually think leads to a much better customer experience.
So that's the conversation we have with them. We say, what do you really want to change? So we build, like you said, those guardrails. So we allow them to configure and we give it to them.
Yep, love it.
So let's return the connector.
Yeah, which is a special connector. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yes. So thank you for charging with us.
I got my name there.
Exactly.
Peak speed, if it's me, it's going to be higher than that. We're going to be hitting 400 kilowatts on this thing.
Exactly. So we close this.
Yep.
And now you have your outro screen.
Oh, check that out. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So now let's kind of walk through and really take a look at what can be configured, if that's cool with you.
Absolutely, would love to.
Okay, so let me just do this. So what we see today is people want to configure like pricing.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is just, if you want to come up here. So let's say you can change your company name, but let's say you want to change your color.
Yeah.
All you have to do is you pick the color.
Oh, amazing. Cool. So we can just go like out of spec, orange-ish or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So what we do, though, is you remember the screen is IK10.
Yep.
So it's anti-glare. But then what you can see here is based on the color you choose is just legible for the reader. So thinking about that so you can test it before you go there.
Love that feature. Very nice.
Yeah. So then we have your logos here.
Yep.
And now, welcome. If you want to have another message, invite someone.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, putting in your own QR code.
Yep.
Now let's say your outro screen as well. If you have a personalized message, if someone's shopping with you.
Yep.
Your video as your outro image.
Love that.
Now let's say, how do you want someone to pay? We did the app, but let's say you're behind the fence, RFID, or you want the loyalty card.
Yep.
And then what's the main method? So you can set that.
Very cool.
RFID behind the fence, and maybe you want to give special pricing.
Yeah, so idling fee.
Yeah,
this
put
is
it in.
999,000 million per minute.
Okay.
Don't leave your car idling at a charger.
Exactly.
It gets expensive.
So
I don't know if it can go that high. Will
Oh,
it
let's
take
find
that?
out.
Okay.
So
that's the proper idle fee, by the way.
So then basically what you do is you publish this to the charger.
Yeah.
So now you see the idling fee there.
This is what we need right there. You come to my charger, baby, you can't leave that thing sitting there. Love it.
Yeah. So you still have the app logo, but instead of going through the sequence, I will just push this. And so we kind of go through.
I just have to get a picture of
No
that.
problem.
That's so funny.
So then again here, it's put here, you have the 3 areas where to update the pricing.
Nice.
You mentioned which payment you want.
Yep, love it.
So that's there. So we did RFID. So that's the flow.
Yep.
And now you change your colors. So you see
Amazing.
the accent color, this color, the charging details. It's all based on what's configured, and this is what we give to our customers.
So I absolutely love the HMI on this. I think it is class leading by far. I love that you get, the QR code with the remote access. This design is great, clearly indicates which port you're using. By far the nicest screen and software out of anyone, which is a huge departure from early ABB stuff, which was the worst.
Yeah.
So you've gone from the worst to the best.
Well, and what we really like is that's been validated by the market because we did win 2 design awards.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you know that.
No.
So yeah, so we have 2 design awards for the design and the HMI of the charger.
Amazing, and you just got another one in this video, so now
Perfect.
3.
So let's go. So again, you have this there. You have the new color accent for your outro screen. Return the connector. Again, your idling fee.
Yep.
And lastly, back there.
That's amazing.
And maybe just a small Easter egg here, because we know this is going to be used in, let's say, potential retail environments. But this is like a screensaver also to save the burn-in of always having the same image so it refreshes.
Yeah.
And we're working to say, how do we have a call to action, but then still be able to display that?
Yeah, well, this looks really nice.
Okay.
So I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the unit itself, maybe we can talk some hardware and charging.
Yes.
If you have a second.
Yeah.
So all-in-one, 400 kilowatts. Power modules are your power modules?
Yes, our power modules, completely designed and manufactured by us.
Yep.
That allows us to control everything from rain catcher, airflow, the dynamics. What that also allows us to do is to be able to make what were announced last Thursday, 200, 300, 400 that you can upgrade this in the field.
Oh, nice. So you can save some money initially.
Yes.
And then spend more as you get higher power charging vehicles.
Exactly. So the footprint's the same. And basically you add 100 kilowatt power modules, always in the 50 kilowatt granularity.
Very nice. And you offer NACS and CCS, but your CCS is bespoke to your cable.
Yes.
Which is really cool. So this is technically not a liquid-cooled cable, but you get the benefits of a liquid-cooled cable.
Exactly.
Because you have a cooling mechanism directly where the heat's generated, which is right in here.
Yes.
So this is one of the coolest things. I can't wait to see how it works in the field. Like, I just envision it getting filled with pollen, but I don't know. We'll see.
No. So we have several units, definitely in Europe, out in the market.
Yeah.
That we've been testing. Also some behind the fence in the US. So it's really doing well.
Amazing.
And I think in Canada with On the Run in Parkland as a customer.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Love to hear that.
Yeah. And maybe just to show you what we built in the configurator, let's say you go like, you now want 200 and you want, let's say, double NACS.
Yeah.
That you can update this.
That's instant.
Instant.
That is really impressive.
And if we
cool.
go through the same thing, everything is configured based on a specific vehicle. So you have your charging rate, your charging speed, power, based on the 200 kilowatt option, just to show like forward thinking with the software.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, the software looks amazing. The back end looks super snappy.
Yeah.
That's cool. So absolutely love that.
Yeah.
So we've shown this in detail before. You can see the 200 kilowatt right there.
Exactly.
I'd love to show the smaller version of this.
Yes.
Because while I'm always about hitting the maximum power output, and I think there's a really nice unit. I've already shown the cable management, how that all works.
Perfect.
So many use cases don't need 400 kilowatt chargers.
Exactly.
And ABB really made the claim to fame of the original 50 kilowatt.
Yes.
Lifestyle. So I'd love to show the new 50 over here. We may have to move some people out of the way, but if we can scooch over this way. Sorry, guys. This is the new 50 kilowatt. So this is the one I've been most excited to check out. It's basically take the 400 and shrink it.
Yes. So maybe we just take a step back. If you see the wall behind you, we've actually separated the market in segments. So what you saw there was public charging, highest power density that you need as a CPO. What we're talking about here is retail and destination. So as you mentioned, you don't always need the most power.
Right.
If I give you statistics like average dwell time in a supermarket is 43 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
So you don't want 400, you want 50 because that matches your battery.
Absolutely.
So we have built this specifically for that market. And what we've done is inside, you have the same rain catcher, same airflow guard. You have the 50 kilowatt power module that's split into two 25 kilowatt power modules. Maybe we can look at the cable management system to show a difference. So why don't you pull on that?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So I'll pull this out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice action.
Exactly.
Very cool. Yeah. And
so what you
go
have
ahead.
here is a cable management system that reaches 97% of the vehicle inlets.
Yeah.
If the way normal humans park.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. And that actually retracts all the way in, which so many do not, and they get stuck like there, and it looks terrible. Okay. Love
and
that.
this is designed for basically 30,000, let's say, usage, with a normal cable management system. With this is about 10,000.
Yeah, and honestly, more like 10. So how does it know when I plug and unplug?
So there's a sensor in there.
Okay.
So basically the sensor is connected to the outlet as well as the LED light. So you have this, it automatically moves. And then when it's connected, you have, of course, the traffic with OCPP.
Yeah.
And then that changes, the lighting on the screen.
It's super cool. So then the price on this, we're not talking exact numbers, but it's significantly less than the 400, where you can install a lot of these.
It's definitely significantly less. And, when we talk about public charging, that's for a CPO where they're, let's say, businesses to make money selling energy.
Yeah.
Here you have retailers whose business is not selling energy.
Right.
So we actually offer a fully managed solution where we take care of like the service, the parts, basically making sure that this charger is maintained so you have the highest uptime, highest charging success rate.
Well, and we should even mention that too, because you guys have an amazing network of service technicians.
Exactly.
I know because I run into them a lot in the field, and they're like actually fixing stuff and maintaining and preemptively servicing things too. And they're super knowledgeable. My local guy's like awesome. I know him pretty well. He's great. So, you just have like a great network of techs. You can have SLAs with anyone who buys your stuff and have really quick response time to getting them fixed. So that's always great.
Yeah, we believe it's like the best service team in EV charging, the longest history.
Yeah.
We've seen what's out there. We know how to fix it, and we've accumulated all that knowledge to also design the serviceability of this, because you noticed basically you have the lock here. Just like you had there, the airflow side to side, but you can open it so you can put them front to back and side to side and make it easily serviceable as well.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's small power.
Yes.
Can we go to massive power?
We can go to massive power over here.
This is, first of all, it's huge, but this is just the dispenser.
This is just the dispenser.
So why is the dispenser so big? You got to explain what's going on with this.
Happily.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll draw your attention to a couple points. First of all, we're talking 1.2 megawatts of power.
Big boy.
Big boy. We have 1,500 amps running through the cable.
Love it.
This cabinet is large because we look at also safety first. And what we've done is we keep all the cooling over here. This is a double wall design, so it's completely separate from all the fuses and electronics here.
Okay.
Why is that? Well, why don't you come over here?
Yeah.
So I think you know for MCS we have standardization where it's always on the left side of the vehicle.
Yes.
So
well,
what?
always on driver's side, right?
Driver's side.
Yeah.
So
What,
as you
what
pull
does it
in.
actually mean for right-hand drive markets?
Good question.
Because no one's been able to tell me yet.
Yeah, that's a good question. We
Okay,
should look
but
at
in
that.
left-hand drive markets
Yes.
on the driver's side.
Yeah. So what we've done also with the cable link here, we show an MCS, but we also offer a CCS dual solution.
Oh, nice.
But what we're showing here today is that when you use this cable, people think it's massively heavy.
Yes.
But the cable length, the torque, is specifically designed so you take it out and it rotates to match the inlet of the truck.
Okay, yeah.
So you put that back and then I let you try it.
Okay, let me give it a go. Because I've seen, like, even just walking around the show today, we've shown a bunch of wacky and wild different cable management systems for this.
Yeah.
But let's see. Oh, that is nice because the cable is bent to go that way, isn't
Exactly.
it? Okay, so it's perfectly easily bendable in this direction.
Exactly.
And then we've shown this before to our viewers. That's the MCS, which is a global standard for high
Well,
power.
I would like to maybe take 1 second there. So
Yes.
what you notice here,
Yep.
right here, what do you think is different there?
I have no idea. You have
that
extra
is
pins.
Ethernet.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically connectivity over Ethernet, which
Yeah.
was just established as a standard so you can communicate from the charge post to the vehicle. And that's something we did with the OEM partner.
Really? So will that be on all of them or just some of them, or what's the idea?
So this is all with our connector, and we're working on standardization of that.
So this will be an ABB specific connector then?
The connector, no, but the communication over Ethernet is something that we've worked to communicate with the standard.
Okay, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
a neat little feature. Can't wait to show that. I just can't wait to show a vehicle charging on MCS. We're getting close.
We are.
Tesla today just announced Semi will have it.
Yes.
We know Windrose is working on it, but there's really not many vehicles with it.
No, we see vehicles coming later in the market this year, but more of a ramp up in 2026 and 2027.
Yeah.
That's why we see this as a mix of, this is like a OEM product for them to test behind the fence.
Yeah.
Depending on what, again, as we look at the segment, transportation logistics, is this for trucks that go point to point, back and forth, they switch the driver? What's the strategy to make money?
And you mentioned you can also have a CCS connection on
Yes.
this as well. Where would that go?
So that's we're designing on the other side at the moment. So maybe that's something for a special
but I think
view.
that's nice one day in the future to kind of have something like that. So you guys have, the only thing we didn't show was this right here, which is sort of just a satellite
Maybe we just
dispenser.
stop 1 second to have you walk around. So what you notice
Okay,
here,
great.
with the double wall, you have here the airflow.
Yeah.
So if we walk around this way.
Yeah. Let's pop around back. Yeah.
So the airflow comes front to back on this side of the double wall.
Okay, so it comes this way.
And here is more of a chimney effect. So it's basically, this is engineered and architected to get the maximum cooling here with the airflow, and the same with here with the different components inside.
And then the cabinet that you hook this up to, how many kilowatts is that?
So that is what you saw, the A400 footprint, and we do 3 of those, 400 kilowatts that connect to here.
Okay.
This can actually take up to 1.6, but we believe 1.2 is the right, let's say, power, because that's standardized with the brakes that you need, with the batteries in the truck. So Europe is 45 minutes.
Yep.
So basically you can refill your truck in that 45 minutes to be on the go.
Okay, interesting. So it can handle an extra cabinet if you needed it.
If you needed it.
I can't wait to show that working. And I definitely want to hook it up to all the cabinets.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a really cool unit. I appreciate the explanation as to the size of it because we've just seen so many different products here.
Yeah.
So that's been a question we've had from some of our viewers and some of the people we've met around here. But it's a beautiful unit, really looks robust. This is kind of cool because it's so basic.
Yes.
And that's what I like.
So this unit is for our public transit sector. This is what we call a charge dock. So it's from here to here. And then what you see down here is one version of it. This is our pedestal mount. But this can also be on a gantry or with panto up and panto down.
Nice, and it would just be this top section then?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then this has reversible hinges, so depending on where you put it in the gantry, how you service it, etc. And then what we've done here is when you take it out, you have the lighting change, so you can signal basically because you'll be on the ground and up in the gantry, and then you can have the different lighting based on the situation that it's in.
Very nice. And I think, just basic applications like this are really, that's what so many companies and different fleets need. You don't need big fancy screens unless it's public.
Exactly. So that's what again, like when we talk about the segments, what does that segment really need?
Yeah.
When you think about this, like as we mentioned, the CPO is there to make money. This is to support retail.
Yep.
When we talk about this, it's like you're doing it for buses, community. So if you don't charge here, you miss your bus. You don't have enough power. So it's really about form and functionality. It's about, you know, making money at the CPO, getting loyalty, people into your car, megawatt charging for transport and logistics.
Well, seems like everything is good over here at ABB. I mean, I can't wait to see this product line reach the U.S., you know, sort of mass market.
Yes.
Obviously, it's been launched publicly, but I just can't wait to roll up to a station and charge at an A400. I know of a couple that kind of like are in or about to be in, so, you know, I'll be heading there to go get some videos to try it out. And, you know, we wish you guys the best of luck. So thanks for taking the time.
No problem. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bye, Kyle.
Yep. We'll see you hopefully on another one again soon at the ABB booth at the next thing.
ABB Mobility.
ABB Mobility. Love it.
No problem. Thank you very much.
As I'm over here at the EV Connect booth with my friend Cassie, we're going to go talk about EV Connect. If you're an EV driver, you should have the app already installed on your phone because so many chargers are activated with your services. And also like other apps that you wouldn't know are powered by EV Connect could be powered by EV Connect.
That's right. That's right. So EV Connect has its own network, but we also power several other networks as their back end that are white labeled. So, and the other thing is that we work with different other networks that are out there through roaming. So you can access ChargePoint charging stations and several others, which makes it a better EV driver experience to find those chargers.
Super key to have roaming. We just did a whole episode on we need more back-end roaming so that you can install less apps on your phone. So glad to see you guys supporting that.
Thank you. Thank you. So I thought I would take you around and show you our booth a little bit so you get to know EV Connect. Sound
Let's
good?
check it out. Yeah. So this isn't your charger, right? This is just a
not
demo.
our charger.
Okay.
EV Connect doesn't manufacture our own chargers. We
Yeah.
work with dozens of other hardware manufacturers. This is a joint venture between ESIS and Samsung. So kind of new to the US market as a new entry. This is a fast charger. So our software is interoperable with DC fast chargers as well as level 2 chargers, which serve different purposes within the industry.
Yep.
So this is one of them, but EV Connect is really a software focused company. So wanted to kind of show like the range of ways that we power these charging stations.
Yeah, well, this is hugely important just on charger activation. I mean, we've all been frustrated where you roll up to a station before and you're like, let me enter in my credit card details manually in an app. Like that just doesn't work. You guys have Apple Pay built in, or I assume Android Pay as well. And it just works way better than most other apps out there.
That's right. And if you decide you're like, I don't want to enter in all this information, you can also do guest access as well, or utilize any of those third-party apps to charge on our charging stations.
Okay.
So making it really easy, right? Like I've been at those charging stations myself as an EV driver, and you know, having to enter in everything, it's just a big
Yeah, you're just
pain
like, I just
in the
want to
butt.
charge and walk away. Yeah.
Yeah, shouldn't be that hard. So let me show you some of the level 2 and some of our software features so you can take a quick look.
Let's check it out. And again, not your level 2 station?
Again, this is not EV Connect's level 2, but EV Connect is owned, our parent company is Schneider Electric, and they're coming out with a level 2 charging station that will be out later this year. And so this is just one of many that we have interoperability with, and that offers different use cases where they don't necessarily need the highest power, the fastest charge, but need something reliable and for them to use. So just kind of showing that range. And then what you see here is really the EV Connect dashboard. And this is where what we call site hosts, or those that are having the chargers on their property, can manage those charging stations and can determine what is the pricing and make that dynamic, adjust it for different types of users, have different discounts, et cetera. The other part is seeing all the reporting features. So how much energy is saved, seeing how many, the carbon reduction, seeing how many trees that equals, and of course that reporting up, of course, to your board or your different constituents as well. And so you can see that all in the dashboard. You can manage all the charging stations. You can see from OCPP logs, which is very technical in its terms, but understanding, you know, what are the different issues that happen and how to quickly solve them. So that's a really big issue that's happening in the industry, is the reliability. I'm sure you've seen it, and nobody wants to pull up to a charging station and have it not work. So with our software, we're able to flag a lot of those issues, right? We we work with so many different charging stations. So we're able to see what are those patterns, what's happening, and proactively fix where we can on the hardware.
Well, I got to say the response to when things stop working is near instantaneous with your system. I only know this because I was in Pasadena last week. I charged on a level 2 charger at my hotel, activated with EV Connect, and then the next, like, you know, went out to dinner, came back, and the screen was dead on the charger. I'm like, whoa, I didn't break it. And then the app, it showed unavailable. I'm like, oh, well, that worked out well.
Yes.
So yeah, worked really nice.
Terrific. Well, that's the point of it, right? And that can be challenging if you didn't, weren't checking the app and showed up. So I think even though it's good to show unavailable, what we're really striving for is really uptime all the time, and not have those type of error messages.
So I've never seen this before. Obviously, as an EV driver, we see the app facing. This is sort of the back end situation.
This is the back end situation, and something that probably a lot of people aren't aware of within the EV industry. It's something that's really important to just see what's the health of what's happening here. So this is just a quick dashboard, demo where you're able to kind of see at a glance how many are available, how many are in use, where's there some errors in maintenance mode, so where they're quickly being resolved.
Yeah, I mean, this is really cool. You just get to see all, across your entire network, whatever that happens to be. If it's, you're trying to track, across a state or a country for, I guess, a nationwide network, they could use this, as well as just like a random dude wanting to list their charger.
Exactly. It can be a random dude to somebody that has multiple locations across the U.S.
Yeah.
And so this is an important way to manage that experience, right? It's not as simple as just like putting it in the ground and like never looking back on it. I think that's why we have a lot of the uptime and reliability issues, is because many that put these in the ground thought like, okay, once it's installed, I never have to think about it again. And that's just quite frankly not the case within our industry.
Yeah, don't install chargers if you don't want to maintain them.
It's a terrible driver experience.
Yes.
So I know that many companies that are installing them that aren't EV companies aren't thinking about that like longevity of the hardware and what is that EV charging experience. And so that's what we try to bring to the forefront and really try to educate more. So one of the big important pieces is obviously uptime. And when you think about uptime, there's so many different ways to think about it, from service uptime to the network uptime to the hardware uptime. And at the end of the day, it's like, did the driver try to charge and were they able to charge their vehicle? That's what we're really striving for and looking for. So we calculate all of that into, kind of different buckets and what are some of the errors that can occur. I just want to show you that we have other types of data and in ways to kind of look at what's happening at the charging stations. There's all types of user groups, seeing different subscription models. So let's say that you had a multi-tenant building and you wanted to give those tenants a discount and then have guests that are visiting, have those spots have a different price point. We can manage all of that within here. They can see what that usage is, et cetera. So,
and I think one of the, obviously you have two sides of the business. You need EV drivers to have your app, but you also need site hosts to use the back end in order to sort of bring this together. The thing that you have going for you, from my impression, is almost every EV driver I know has EV Connect on their phone. So you don't really want to go and bring in, even if someone comes up with like a magical solution, if no one has the app on the phone, it doesn't work.
Right.
And so I think just by having this huge mass group of EV drivers already with your app downloaded, it's kind of a no-brainer to put your chargers, not your chargers, but some random person's chargers into your network, because it, for example, it interfaces directly with my Rivian and it goes right into my screen on the truck.
There you go.
And so, you've already got that all sorted. And so EV Connect has gotten big enough where like you kind of can host your chargers here.
I love that. You're really doing the sales pitch for me. Appreciate that.
I'm just a user. I love it. Yeah, not sponsored yet, at least. Come on, Cassie.
But there are other parts of our business too that I wanted to share. So all of the successes that EV Connect has had and learned of developing our own network, we talked about it a little bit earlier, that we help power other networks. And there's a couple different ways that we do that. So we also have a service platform. So think about the same dashboard that's branded for those that are going into the service industry and want to service those charging stations, provide O&M, operations and maintenance support, and they want to have that customer-facing interaction with what we call the site hosts. So that's one part of our business. And then those that want to do a full CPO model, so they want to have that branded app and the branded dashboard and run, you know, soup to nuts. And because we've been doing this for 15 years, which is absolutely wild in the EV industry, we've learned, right? We've made mistakes. We've seen how the industry has changed, and we've learned from that. And then we continue to update and upgrade and make it a delightful experience, whether it's our brand or someone else's brand.
Well, it's super cool. I think, you know, just from my perspective, I'd like to host our chargers on EV Connect once they go and get installed, so we can see how that goes.
Awesome.
Because I do want to make them public. Like our charger at the office should be on EV Connect so people could activate it.
Let's
I'm sure
do
we
it.
can make that work.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks for the tour. Really appreciate it. That was great.
It was so nice chatting with you today. Thank you for stopping by at the ACT Expo and checking out EV Connect.
Awesome. All right, we're off to the next one. Guys, I'm over here at the Blink booth with Kennedy, and we're over here to check out the DC charging solution with some DC microgrid as well, which is kind of cool. So Kennedy, can you explain what we're looking at here? Because I've never seen this at a Blink station before.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've collaborated with Blink to provide a nanogrid solution, and we provide the battery energy storage, the solar, and all of the electrical equipment. And then we have collaborated with Blink to add in that EV charger element. So for any customers that are looking to kind of off-take the energy consumption from the grid and not pull as much with their DC fast chargers that are level 2, that's where we come in and we provide the energy from the solar and the battery energy storage.
And the way I understand it, your solution's totally scalable. You had mentioned like 200 kilowatt hours, kind of on the small side, up to the megawatt hour level if you want to go full big boy site. And I imagine you can use it for a couple different reasons, which is kind of the benefit of battery storage. You can do some peak shaving so you don't get hit with demand charges. You can also probably oversubscribe the charger's power for your grid connection.
Yes.
So if you want to put in a bunch of DC chargers, but you have a limited grid connection, you keep the batteries ripping full send and then charge off the DC. So that's cool.
And our team sizes the system to whatever our clients need, and that's how we kind of approach it.
So how does the collaboration work with Blink? Why Blink? How does that all work? I know a lot of people can have Blink install chargers. They're also a CPO on some side. I know you're coming in from the back-end energy side. How did that collaboration come to be?
Yeah, so our CEO and head of our revenue division is close with Mike Battaglia, which is the CEO of Blink. So we had that relationship. And we have seen the customer support from Blink is outstanding, and we really just like their whole team. So we've kind of partnered with them for that reason.
They've gotten so good recently, and so I'm hardcore on the Blink train these days. So I'm glad that worked out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then so any customer can, sort of contract either through you or through Blink, I would imagine.
Yep.
Build out whatever site they want and then include the battery storage.
Yeah, so both our sales forces are going forward with this solution and selling it. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, congratulations. It's super cool to see this innovation. Very rarely do we see a ChargePoint operator and also installer collaborate this closely with a DC microgrid solution. I'm pretty excited about it too. I want to go charge on one in the real world. So we got to find a site, we got to put one in, and then I want to go play around with it.
Yeah,
It would be fun.
That'd be great.
So thanks, Kennedy. Appreciate you joining.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I realized we've changed because it's day 2 or day 3, technically.
It's day 3 for us.
This thing is cool. I showed this before, and it is basically a battery pack on a trailer with a DC charger connected, which is exactly what we need. And I absolutely love it because they have the just gonna send it badge right there. So I already have a video of this from a couple weeks ago. The thing is awesome. They drove it out here with a Hummer EV from Florida, trailer in it.
Wow.
So they would drive the truck, plug the trailer into the truck, and then keep going. Then they'd get to a DC charger, plug both in.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was so cool. Already did the video. No need to go super intense on it. I don't think we showed any of this. This is International's booth. So again, they've got, their heavy duty truck line. This is where kind of all the trucks are. Penske, we haven't shown this. This is the International RH EV. And yeah, pretty cool truck. Definitely want to take a look at these. Let me know if you want to do a truck comparison, because I think we need to do like a cross-country truck race.
I'm so down for that.
Yeah, but we need CDL drivers. So if there's any viewers that have CDLs, we need a lot of them because they're going to log out of ours.
Yeah.
So cross-country nonstop. They also can rent Bright Drops here. So you have like the normal Bright Drop, and then you've got like Bright Drop on Wish over there, Blue Arc. At least that's what it looks like. I don't know why they have to make these things look so crappy. It might be technically very impressive, but Scott, wouldn't you agree that that doesn't look appealing?
No, but this does.
This looks great because GM knows how to build a product. Again, GM Fan Club over here. I was kind of hard on GM for a while, and then, sorry about that, And just recently, like they've like fixed all their stuff.
Sweet.
Sweet. Okay, so DTNA, I think we went there yesterday.
We sure did.
Oh, electric school bus. This is cool. Should we take a look inside the electric school bus?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. This is the PB11E. Feel free to take a look. It's only 210 kilowatt hours, which is perfectly fine for most use cases. 135-mile range. And that's going to be fine for most applications, I would imagine. Digital dash. Nice.
We love to see it.
I don't know why school buses are cool, but I think they're cool.
It's because they're nostalgic.
Maybe. Yeah. 10,000 pound capacity for front suspension, 21,000 pound for rear. And, oh, charge rate up to 125 kilowatt hours. Scott, you can even tell that that's wrong because the H shouldn't be there. All right. God, how hard is it to get kilowatt and kilowatt hour right at a professional tech conference from such a big company?
Yeah.
That's annoying. Okay, we're going to film a thing here at Green Lane. What's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
So different idea back here. What you got going on?
Yeah, so we're here with IXP, which typically specializes in charging infrastructure for level 2 chargers.
Yep.
And what we have here is a mobile charging solution for temporary infrastructure. So we can set up in under an hour. We have a level 3 charger on the front.
Yeah, let's walk around. Let's go
check that out.
And also a bunch of connections for level 2s, it looks like.
Yeah, so we're running 483 phase to power the DC fast charger. So this is dual dispenser, both CCS and NACS.
Yep.
With adapters. We've also added a tower light and security.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really cool.
Yeah, so that has 30x zoom. We can actually read the text on the other end of the Expo.
No
and
way.
then the cameras have AI security tracking.
Oh, okay.
So we actually caught the cleaning lady stealing candy. I'll send you the picture later.
God damn it.
But yeah, so we added that to the front. So when you're charging fleets, sometimes you need to fix emergencies. And so it's good to have some fast charging.
Yeah.
And then over here, we have a bunch of networked level 2 chargers.
Okay.
And so
they cam lock in? Is that how you do it?
They cam lock in. So these are all daisy chained together.
Yeah.
We can deploy up to like 40 on a single circuit. They're all automatically networked as smart chargers for current sharing. So we even have built-in phase detection. So it knows if it's on like line 1 and 2 or 2 and 3.
Yep.
And so then it sets it up, auto configures, and it's ready to go.
Amazing. And then we should also mention that this isn't powered by combustible fuels. This is a battery pack.
This one's a battery pack.
Yep.
You can charge it however you want. You can add in solar, you can plug it into the wall, you can charge it off a generator.
Can we show that? Can we show some charging ports? Are they easy to get to, or are they on this side?
They're kind of on the back side.
Okay.
It's not super exciting, it's just a CCS plug.
Okay, well that's nice. Yeah, great. So you just roll this thing up to a DC charger and plug it in.
Yep.
How many kilowatt hours?
600.
Hell yeah, brother.
So
we love it.
Yep. And then we also have these chargers on display as well. I think you'll really like this one.
Okay.
This is a fully ruggedized 48 amp connector. You can check out how pliable the cable is.
Yeah, the cable's nice. This is a really nice rubberized connector as well. This feels pretty strong if you were to drop it on the latch.
Yep.
Nice connection.
And so everything's overbuilt and over-designed for outdoor environments, keeping it simple on the charger side.
Nice.
It comes from our friends over there at Joint.
Okay.
And I think you'll be seeing a lot more of them around here.
Okay, really? That's awesome. So we need Tom to do a state of charge review.
Absolutely.
Of these things, for sure. And I can see you got some screens. So this is sick. Nice setup. Love that you got the mini golf.
Yeah, we're basically tailgating ACT this year.
Oh, amazing. Love to see it. Well, great to see you as always, brother.
You too.
And congrats on this setup. This is cool. And bring it by the office sometime.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Well, guys, I'm over here at Joint Tech, and they've got some pretty cool AC chargers. You guys produce charging equipment, and then, of course, can white label it for anyone, or even have it branded as your own.
Usually we do white label.
Okay.
Yeah, we white label for multiple big brands in US.
Amazing, very cool. But you've got this cool technology that you just showed me, where you have a cable detection, a cut detection.
Yes.
How does this work?
So actually for the cable get the NTC function. If anyone cut it, it got a sensor inside. So the charging will give the beep sound to have a warning. And secondly, they will send the information to the OCPP backend So the backend can realize that the charger
cable was cut.
Yeah.
But this is so important because on most every other charging equipment, if you cut the cable, the charger has no idea. It says available.
This is number one. Secondly, actually, this cable was designed as a replaceable. Right now, it takes around 5 minutes. Even I do it. I can replace the cable in 5 minutes.
Nice.
And nextly, we are designing some chargers with quick connect. So it requires no electrician, so they can do a replacement very quick. And yesterday we talked with City of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
They would like to deploy a charger with the cable coming out and with the signal from the with the cable coming out there to avoid it was cut because Olympic is coming, right?
Yes.
They would like to install more chargers in the market, no matter which area.
Of course, yeah. And so cable safety, super important, making sure EV drivers roll up, they're able to plug in.
Yeah.
So nice work on some innovation here. That's cool. We needed it. We need our market needed some cool cables. So it's really nice to meet you.
Thank
and of
you,
course, hopefully we see some of your tech transfer to the US stuff because of course you're making the chargers for everyone.
It's there already.
Amazing. Love to see it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to Joy Tech.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.